All right, we're back. We're back. And we are going to do the produce episode 4 talk. Because I have terrible memory, I usually keep notes, but I watched this episode with Angels 2014 and I couldn't really keep great notes. So I feel really bad because I'm going to be skipping around and doing all kinds of stuff because my notes just are terrible. So what I'm going to do, you guys hold on for just a minute. I'm gonna go grab my notebook because I forgot what the list of songs were from this episode and I need to make sure I get them right. Yay! And we're back! Alright, awesome, good job. Thank you for holding down the fort. I appreciate you. All right, so we're back. So episode 4, I did a little bit of notes, like just like the very beginning, but then like I said, I couldn't keep up with the notes because I was watching it with a friend. Actually, the way we watch it, whew, that little run back and forth got me winded. The way that I watch this episode is I watch it on kshow123.net, which I'll be honest with you, I kind of hate saying where I watch it because I don't want the spot to get blown up. But kshow123.net, that's where I watch all the produce episodes. And what I've done, well, not what I've done, what Angels did is that she has a Discord group with her, me, Alex, and Mason, and we all get on the Discord and we talk about whatever's going on with the show, and then we try to find a time to meet up over the weekend to watch the show together. So we'll have the show on all of our respective computers, but then we'll have like a Google Hangout and we'll all be kind of like talking and chatting as if you're on like on a Skype session while we're watching the episode. So this past weekend on Sunday, me and Angels 2014 watched the episode together over Hangout, and it got so kind of, I won't say intense, but definitely there was so much going on that I was like, okay, I can't keep writing because I'd have to pause the show to write, and I really am into the moment. So that's why my notes kind of stop with 17, and that's the reason why I needed my notes, because I wrote down all of the songs in here. So yeah, that's the reason why I've got my notes here, but once we get towards the end, things are going to get a little bit shitty because that's where my notes stop. So let's start with the fact that they did us really dirty last episode, and they showed us Team No More Dream for the group battle BTS, but they didn't show us Team Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And it's like, why would y'all do that to us when you know we want to watch? So I was kind of like, Mnet, use a motherfucker, but we were able to keep it moving. So Team No More Dream, as you remember from the last episode, they were all mad at Satellites because you're making us look bad because you're so good and the rest of us aren't. So it's like, shut up. Just shut up. Leave me alone. But Team Blood, Sweat, and Tears, they had their own drama. So Team Blood, Sweat, and Tears made the mistake that a lot of groups make when they don't have experience and when they're just going on what they think is going to make the public happy. They chose a center for his vibe rather than for whether or not he could sing or dance. So they get to vocal training, and their center is trying to do the very intro of the song, the beat number, that part, which is very much high register. It's almost falsetto, but it's kind of not. It's just like head voice, I guess. Anyway, Jin, sorry, Jimin is super talented. And I think a lot of people sleep on the vocal line for BTS. I know y'all get tired of me talking about BTS and SHINee on this channel, but you know what, you're gonna deal with it. This is my life and this is my channel. Watch something else. But yeah, I think the vocal line for BTS is really underrated. Especially Jimin and Jin. Their voices are so clean. They're so clean and so pure and just really, really wonderful. And Jungkook has got a really good voice, but he has a lot of breath in his voice. Whereas Jimin's voice, his falsetto is super clear and very controlled. Underrated. Anyway, they pick a guy to be the center. And of course, the center always starts the song. That's tradition. That's just the way these things happen. He goes to sing it, and he sounds so bad. This is him singing it. It's like, hello, no one can hear you. So of course the vocal trainer is like, this is your center. Why did you choose this guy? Do you not hear the same thing I'm hearing? And they're like, oh, we chose him because of his vibe. And the vocal trainer's like, vibe, huh? Okay, okay. See if you can win with that vibe. So they go back into group huddle, and this guy's like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be center because, I'm not a great singer and I don't want us to lose our challenge because I'm a terrible singer. And the group's like, no, we want to give you a second chance because, we think you can improve and you'll do better. And so, day two, time to do vocal coaching again. Tell me how somebody gets worse overnight. Like, not just you are whispering lower, but like you're whispering louder and you are all of a sudden going through puberty because now it's be tender me. Even his face, like the face on be tender me. But he keeps his face looked pained while he was trying to sing, which that's sexy for the center of a group. So yeah, they're just like, okay, dude, we gave you a second shot. This obviously is not working. We have to pick a new center. So they pick a new center. One of the vocal coaches tried out and he could actually hit the notes and sounded clear. So they get their new center, they proceed to have their performance, and the performance is so boring. It's not that they sounded super terrible. It's that they sounded bored. They sounded bored. They looked bored. The choreography had no excitement to it, even though I think that Mnet has licensed the original backing tracks for some of these songs because they don't sound handmade. Like they sound like they're like the legit backing tracks. But the way that they did it, a song that normally, money, 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 like that kind of energy, it was like, money, 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 money. You hear how flat I'm singing it? That's what they sounded like. And it was like you literally took all of the wind out of our sails with this performance. Like you really deaded everything. Yeah, about as much personality as mashed potato. And it was just like, of course you're going to lose this challenge. And baby, when I tell you they lost, like they got trounced. They got trounced. They took a beating. And they deserved it because I don't know how you take one of the most beloved songs of a group's catalog and you perform it as if it is a chore. And especially because in this whole group battle thing, one of the main complaints that the members of the No More Dream Team had, and that many people had when it came to the group battle challenges, is like, I want to do the popular song because people know the song better, so they're going to automatically give it more votes because of familiarity. And the No More Dream Team was like, yeah, we want to do the other song because not as many people know No More Dreams, and they're not going to vote for us if they don't know the song. You have literally like top 3 best known BTS songs and you perform it like you are at a funeral. What is wrong with you? So yeah, they deserve that beating they took. They deserve that L. Anthony says, especially like the rap was so off and the singing was, woo, Lord Jesus. Yeah, you've been given a gift. You've been given the popular song. Make it work. Especially because we saw in the last episode how even though the team that did Mama sounded really good, the Love Shot team won because they had the popular song with the sexy choreo, and that makes a huge difference. So yeah, that is the first battle that we had have a result in the show for episode 4. Next, it was the Monster X team battles, and I didn't understand this. Like, I don't know if it's just because Mnet doesn't see it as a big deal, but like in America, when you have a special guest on the show, you tease the special guest like all the way up until they arrived. When the Monster X team did their thing, it was like, oh, all of a sudden Junie's here. And it's like, why didn't y'all promo this better? Why didn't y'all like pump up the anticipation? Like, why didn't you have the trainees in? Like, and guess what? One of the teams is going to have a very special guest. Which team is going to have a member of that group show up to their practice? Because then you could have had like the little jump cut scene where it's like, ooh, is one of the members of BTS going to come? Is one of the members of EXO going to come? You could have done all that play and then been surprised when it turns out it's one of the members of Monster X who came. Not only that, but like in the show, where all the judges are like behind the scenes and everybody is, evaluating the groups. It would have been so good if you had Juhani come out when they were introducing the groups that are going to do the Monster X songs, and they could have said, instead of having Lee Dong Wook introduce the groups when they did like their group names and stuff, they could have had, and now we have a special guest to introduce the next group for group battles, and then he comes out from backstage and be like, oh my gosh, it's oh my god, like they could have done that, and that would have been really cool. Or even if he's not present, like if the judges film their stuff at a totally separate time and it's not live, which it probably isn't live, they could have at least filmed him like doing a little clip while he was doing like the day that they were doing the rehearsals. They could have filmed him in a separate green screen room saying, I'm going to be introducing the next group battle. I'm Junie from Monster X, and this is the Monster X group battle. And that would have been something fun. Everybody in the crowd like, oh my gosh, it's the guy from Monster X. They didn't do any of that. I'm like, who's running things at Mnet? Who's not thinking of a way to milk this to make it a little bit more exciting? So I don't know. I just find it very strange that they didn't do that. So even if people didn't know the song, the performance, energy, and the personality make you stand out, in my opinion. There's no hype for Joohyun's appearance at all from Mnet. Exactly. It was almost like it was like when Trainer Bay came back. There was more excitement for Trainer Bay being there than for him showing up. And he's actually watching people do his music. Like, that's just really get out of here. So let's start with first team Trespass. So the team that got Trespass, initially the problem was they're like, none of us know this damn song. No one was checking for Monster X when they debuted, and nobody's going back in the catalog, so we're just at a loss here. There are two members of this team that are having an especially difficult time with Trespass. One of them is Sky Castle, and the other one is Nervous Ned. And we're calling him Nervous Ned because he is the Chinese trainee from, is it Hong Entertainment? What company is he with? I keep notes here, so I'm going to go back to my notes to try to see which company they're from. Hongyi Entertainment. So they're doing their dance practice, and Sky Castle is just not a dancer. He's not even a singer. Like, he's basically there. Nervous Ned is also basically there. Now, he is a Chinese trainee, and one of the problems is that, Korean is not his first language, so he has issues with learning the song. That's to be understood. I would have the same issues, even worse. But choreo, he forgets the choreo. Instead of kind of easing your way to the back or trying to freestyle through it, that kid literally sits there and does, people are doing the choreography around him and bumping into him while doing the choreography around him, and he's still standing there like a fucking bump on a log. And it made me really pissed off because I'm like, can you please like head to the back? Can you please just, go do something else, like, while you're trying to get this together? Say to the trainee, the trainer, I'm so sorry. I had a mind fart. I'm just going to scoot back here for a minute and try to get it together. I'm going to have it the next round. Instead, you just stand there like you were dumb. I wasn't best pleased with it. I didn't think it was cool. And I made a note here before I stopped taking notes. I found it very interesting that they made it a storyline to show how Nervous Ned was able to get over his jitters to be able to perform a final big performance for the group. But they didn't show anything about Sky Castle and his evolution of his terribleness when he was just as terrible, and actually more terrible, because at least the little Chinese trainee, he has talent when it comes to singing and dancing. He just had maybe a brain fart at the moment, and so the choreo missed him. And then again, Korean is his second language, so he can sing. He just has trouble with like getting the lyrics out properly. Sky Castle, on the other hand, is Korean. The language barrier thing doesn't exist for him. He speaks the language. He is a terrible dancer. He's got the heaviest feet known to man. He has the chunkiest, most robotic moves. His face does nothing to carry a performance. He sucks. And Mnet knows that he had no improvement from the first practice to the last practice. But somehow or another, this kid continues to rack up these votes. And I'm like, why? Why? Do you really want a final group with that kid in it? And you know me, I'm the queen of hating children on reality shows. I hated a child on the last season of Produce. I hate a child again. But seriously, do you want that kid in your final group? When it's time to put out albums and go to award shows and have performances, do you really want to see that Frankenstein moving kid being there? Like, even when they were showing Nervous Ned practicing to try to get better, you could see Sky Castle in the background just listening with his earbuds, not really moving, not really trying. And it's just like, you, come on. Are you kidding me? Like, I was so done with him. I was so done with him. A few comments say, um, okay, you got ahead of me. You got ahead of me. Okay, so they have their performance, but we don't see kind of the results just yet because we have to see Team Dramarama. So Team Dramarama has the ultimate Monster X fanboy, and he's just like, oh my god, like you could tell that he was like, dreams made. If they kick me off this show, that's fine because I got to see my idol in person. Y'all can't tell me shit. He was so fucking excited, and it is funny to me just because like, at least there was some silver lining out of all this because in the end, it all turned out to be bullshit. Team Trespass, they were okay. Like, the performance wasn't terrible as a team. The vocals weren't terrible as a team. I thought that, they sounded okay. They sounded okay. The dancing was uninspired, in my opinion. I wouldn't have given as high a marks as they got, but I thought they were all right. Team Dramarama, on the other hand, I thought did a much better job. First of all, they had the one Monster X fanboy. He killed it. Like, he was the MVP for his group, absolutely for sure. But on a whole, their choreography was much more exciting to look at. They sounded way better. Like, it was nice. They were nice. But in the end, Nervous Ned gave final comments, and he's, of course, 안녕 하세요. Nervous Ned입니다. 감사합니다. Like, he was giving his like stuttering Korean because he doesn't really speak Korean. And I think the audience was like so enamored with his trying hard that they really overvoted for him, and Team Trespass won. I didn't think it was fair. I thought it was bullshit. And Cheetah agreed with me too because all of the judges during the broadcast were saying Dramarama won. Dramarama was better. We like Dramarama. Everybody, even Juhani, that's his song. He's like, I prefer the performance for Dramarama. And still, the audience voted for Trespass. So, rack up them sympathy votes, but I didn't think it was fair. They were robbed. I agree, they were robbed. But can we also just say that Juhani has got the most beautiful dimples. Oh my gosh, his face is so perfect. Don't ever change. Don't ever change. He looked so good in this episode. First of all, his hair was dark. It was a little bit long. Skin was kind of pale. Dimples just, oh. He was wearing this like jacket that was like kind of Versace-esque, and he was looking great. He was looking great. He was the highlight of the episode because he was looking fine. Oh, he looks so good. But I'm digressing. Next, it's time to go to Team 17. So we had Team Adore You and Team Clap. Now, I'll be honest with you. If it was time for me to join a team, I absolutely want to be on Team Adore You. Because Team Adore You was really the song I gravitate to the most. But we already talked about last week how I didn't think that Clap was like the most definitive 17 song. Fight Me If You Wanna. I think that Monse probably would have been better. But Team Adore You has a really cute moment in their rehearsal because Old Man is on the Adore You team, the one who used to be the Starship trainee. And so, of course, because he used to be a Starship trainee, when Juhani gets into the room and he sees this guy that he used to train with that really almost had a shot at being in Monster X, they have like, a hug and kind of like, what do I call you? Do I call you Mister? He's like, no, call me trainee. It was nice. It was really sweet. And, it goes to show like that the Old Man is humble. He's like, I realize that, I have achieved a certain amount outside of music and everything, but at this point, I just want to be treated like everybody else. I want to be seen as trying my hardest, just like everybody else in the group. And so that was really nice because he could have been like, give me special treatment because we're friends, but he didn't. He stuck to the script. But then it comes time to sing, and the singing is bad, y'all. The singing is really bad. And I felt bad for them because the singing was so tough. But I mean, the vocalists in 17 are not to be played with. Like, they have got a really strong vocal line in 17, and they do a lot of high notes, and they go from moderate to high very fast. And so if you don't have the best control over your voice, it's hard to do that and sound in tune and not like break. And so they had a really bad time with that. Also, their center couldn't dance. Like, the original center they had could not dance to save their life. And of course, the center, again, always starts the song. So it's really important that your center is a good dancer. So what they did is they didn't waste any time. They immediately chose a new center because they're like, you know what? We only have a limited amount of time to practice these songs. So let us go ahead and regroup now and hope that everything turns out okay. So they get a new center, but the problem is the new center is overwhelmed by the responsibility of being the new center. So the new center they chose had at least a decent vocal. Not the best vocal, but a decent vocal. But it's like the pressure of having everybody's hopes riding on you was too high. Like, oh, I took this other guy's job and everybody's counting on me to hit these notes and I don't know if I can do it. And in the end, their performance really suffered vocally. Like, it was subpar. Also, I have to say, I was very surprised how flat the choreo was for it as well. They had the cutest choreography out of any of the groups, in my opinion. Like, the only other choreography that I really loved out of the episode was the choreography for Lullaby. No, not Lullaby, Energetic. I thought Energetic probably also had the best choreography in addition. But the choreography for Adore You was super duper cute. But I don't know, it's like there wasn't, again, is the same kind of problem that the Blood, Sweat, Tears team had. There was no excitement to the choreo. So it was an issue. Now we're on to Team Clap. And they have one member who is amazing at dance. The rest of them are struggling. And that's a problem. But that really wasn't the main thrust. It was more of one very kind of memeable moment, which was the pronouncing of the word baksu. So apparently the song goes, it starts with the clap, and it goes, Baksu! I'm saying it, Baksu! And the guy in practice was like, Baksu. And Juhani's like, don't waste my time by half-assing when I'm in the room. Do it again. And he's like, Baksu! And Juhani's like, no, Baksu! And he's like, Baksu! No, say it again, throw it at me, Baksu! And he finally is like, okay, Baksu. It was just like, yeah, I guess at this point you're tired of asking about it, but to me, it didn't feel any more powerful the fifth time than it did the first time. It felt the same to me. And what I said to Jade when we were talking on the phone, I'm like, really what needs to happen is he needs to put some bass in his voice. It's not about saying it any louder. It's about giving it gravity so it sounds like a command rather than a request. So you don't want to sound like, hey, clap. You want to clap with me? You want to be like, clap, MFs, clap. And that energy wasn't necessarily there. But for the rest of it, I think that vocally, they were light years ahead of the Adore team. Like, vocally, they were a lot stronger. And their choreography, they just seemed like they were happier to be doing clap. And therefore, the choreography came off a lot better. So they end up winning, which was not a surprise. Of course, the center of Team Adore You was like, oh, if only I had done my job as a center, I let down the team. No, you didn't let down the team. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. All right, so let's see what the next. This is where my notes completely end. I don't have any more notes, so let's see what the next battle was. We did that one. We did that one. We did that one and that one. What was the next performance, guys? Somebody leave it in the comments. I have forgotten. While you're doing that, I'm gonna eat a chip. New East. 101. Okay, so 101 was next. 101 had two songs. They had Energetic and they had Light. So the team who did Energetic, it was the team that had all of the foreign guys. And their team, they named themselves We Are the World. What a stupid song name. It's like, I like the song We Are the World because I was a kid in the 80s and you heard it everywhere. But like in terms of naming my team that's a mouthful. Anyway, I'm digressing. The team that was doing Energetic, they were consisting of Timothy, which is the French Korean guy, Peak, who is the hottie from Thailand, oh my gosh, and a bunch of other trainees. And vocally, they actually did okay. But when it came time to dance, Timothy was really fucking it up. And people were like, yo, dude, are you with us? Like, what's going on here? We need you to give that energy. You picked this team, but you're not giving us anything. Do you want to drop out? Like, what the hell's going on? Why'd you pick us if you're not going to give us any energy? Because I guess they took it as like, you're not giving any energy because you don't like us. But if you don't like us, why did you put us on your team? Finally, he had to tell them, like, hey guys, it's not you. It's totally me. My grandmother died 3 days ago. I am still a mess. I'm still trying to process my grief, and it's got me very distracted because I keep wanting to cry. So I'm sorry. I'm going to do better. And this is my thing, right? I guess from a narrative standpoint, it makes sense to do the big reveal in the middle of the story, and then you can see how he overcomes it. But in terms of like a real life conversation, I would be pissed off still. And I would be pissed off still because my thought would be, okay, when you came back to the team after going to your grandmother's funeral, you should have said, hey guys, I just want you to know, like, I'm going to be with you on this, but if you see me slipping, let me know because I'm kind of distracted right now because my grandmother died over the break and I'm still grappling with that. I think people would have been a lot more tolerant of him during the practices. And also it shows that like you are invested in the group enough to let them know I've got something going on instead of them having to call you out in order to find out what happened with you. And that's just a part of like regular real team building. And so that was something that kind of annoyed me about their group. But outside of that, they do the performance, and I thought the choreo was super cute. I thought their clothes were super cute. They had really decent vocals, and they did something that is so incredibly smart. They took the guys who can't sing and gave them like one line each. That is genius. I mean, really, you know that they can't sing. So instead of like making them step up to the plate, find any way you can to throw them in the back and let the other ones who can sing do the job. And so vocally, they sounded really good. And I was like, they're gonna be a tough team to beat because the performance, the song is preferable. In my opinion, I like Energetic better than Light, but the song was really good. The vocals were on point. They have one guy who's in their group. I think he's got on like a pink shirt, but he's got this really thin nose. Don't know what the kid's name is. I want to call him Michael Jackson Chipmunk because he's got like chipmunk cheeks, but he's got that kind of Michael Jackson nose thing going on. He sounded wonderful. Like he sounded very, very good. Appearance wise, not my favorite, but he sounded very, very good. So their team was off to a brilliant start. Now we have Team Light. Team Light was forgettable in every way. Like just going off of everything from their little kind of fake storyline to their performance on the stage, I barely forgot they performed. Really and truly. And I think part of it is they had dark costumes, which dark costumes always really mess up choreo. It's always better to have a light costume because people can see movement and the movement looks fresher when you have on a lighter costume than a darker costume. But I remember like vocally, they just weren't hitting it. They weren't hitting it. And my memory is probably wrong, but I want to say that like there was an issue with like the singing. I don't know. Like I said, Super forgettable. Was not surprised that Energetic won at all. They definitely trounced their competition again. But it was one of those things where it's just, again, Energetic is that song. For 101, I think if we were to go, let's say 5 years from now, and people are like, essential K pop songs, you're not going to hear Light. You're going to hear Energetic. So at the end of the day, it was the winner by default. It had a good choreography, better costumes, good vocals, and it is the more popular song. The other team just couldn't win. Sorry. Sorry about it. So there was that. Okay, so the ones that are left over that we haven't talked about yet are girls. Oh, not girls. GOT7, New East, and NCT. Okay. Okay. Mm, NCT was the last group. I think New East was the second to last, and so I guess GOT7 is next. I think I'm right about that. All right. So GOT7. I would talk about all the pre-performance stuff. None of that shit matters. The most important thing you need to understand about the GOT7 group battle is the microphone debacle. That is the most important thing because it is the thing that determined the winner of that competition the absolute most. So, girls, in the pre-roll, they tried to make it seem like, oh, the big problem is that the guys from Girls have somebody doing flips and stuff, whereas the team that does Lullaby doesn't have any acrobats. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Nobody gives a damn. But when the guys who did Girls got on stage and did their performance was a regular, run of the mill standard performance. They had like two main guys that did really well. Like, I think the one guy from My Team did really well. The one guy from Esteem, the cutie with the mole on his cheek, he did really well. I think we're going to start calling him Holy Moly because he's got a mole, and holy moly is that boy cute. And he's got his own YouTube channel. So if you're interested in seeing him, he has a YouTube channel and he's on there cussing and speaking in English. So it is worth your time because he speaks in complete English during his vlogs. And he's like, man, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, oh, yes, a real one. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. Anyway, the girls team, the guy from Esteem, his name is Yuri. He's got a YouTube channel. Look him up. He's awesome. Anyway, the guy from Esteem is hot. So we're going to start calling him Holy Moly. And they do their performance. The performance is fine. Everything's good. Then Team Lullaby comes out. And Team Lullaby changed their center. They had one guy that was going to be their center, but he wasn't hitting the note. And the guy from My Team, Yuvin, he was hitting the note. So they're like, okay, we're going to make you the center. During his performance, they do some move where they're on the floor, I guess, and they get back up, and his microphone pack becomes disconnected. And through, I would say, maybe 3/4 of the performance, he has no sound. And he is the center and also the main vocalist for the performance. It is devastating. Like, me and Jade both spent the whole time going, no, 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 because it was just like, it was a nightmare. It was like, I quit. Like, send me home because I can't do this no more. I'm so upset. I cannot do this anymore, you guys. So they perform, and then the groups all get back on stage after they perform, do like their one last appeal to the audience. So the Lullaby group was like, please vote for us. We hope that you like us. We did our best. The team for Girls are like, the leader of their team is the guy from My Team, and it's his bandmate who had the microphone pack disconnect. And he's like, I don't want you guys to think that he is not a talented force because we work together, and I'm telling you, he is so good. And it's just, you didn't get to see it because he had this technical difficulty, and I don't want you to send him home based on something that was not in his control. And he breaks down crying, and his whole team comes and hugs him. And of course, Yuvin comes over and hugs him too, and is like, hey bro, it's not your fault. Things happen, and what's meant to happen is meant to happen. So, everybody has a moment on stage where they're all crying and choked up. And like, you can really tell that his bandmate in Girls was like really upset for him because he's just like, I want to win, but I don't want to win like this. And of course, the hope is just like with every year, if we came in from the same company, we want to make it to the end together if we can, or at least be in the running at the end if we can. And so I don't want to leave you behind, but I absolutely don't want to leave you behind because of a microphone issue. So I guess the audience, I don't know if the audience was booing or whatever. You didn't really see anything with the audience, but I guess at one point the producer's like, you know what? We're going to ask the guys from Girls, 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 are you cool with letting Team Lullaby do this again? Because this is a competition and it was fair and square. Nobody sabotaged him when he went to do the floor move. That's when it disconnected. Nobody did it to him on purpose. So, if you guys don't want them to do it again, we won't let them do it again. But it's up to you what you want to do. So Girls, Girls, Girls gets out there and they're like, you know what? Let's let them do it again. Because, we want to win, but we want to win fair. And it would only be fair for them to be allowed to perform using their full skill set and not being handicapped by you guys not hearing the main singer. So Team Lullaby went back out there and they performed again. And in my opinion, they killed it. I thought they were perfect. But of course, I'm super biased because I love Yuvin. Like he's one of my faves. And of course, my son is in the team, Twoozy. Like he is so precious and he did such a good job and he sounded so good. So personally, I would have gone with Team Lullaby if there was no drama with the stages and the mic packs and everything. If you just had these two people with no preamble coming out there performing and then getting off the stage, I personally would have voted for Team Lullaby. But then again, like I said, I'm biased because my children are in Team Lullaby. But in the end, the audience kind of, I guess, felt like the Girls, Girls, Girls members not only did a good job on stage, but they were kind of more magnanimous. They were good sports about things. So they got a boost in the votes and they end up winning. And I don't know, I'm still kind of a little torn about that because I think that even though they did let the Lullaby team perform a second time, you create a bias in the audience with the fact that they got a chance to do it again, and it's because the other team let them do it again. So people are like, oh, you guys are so great because you gave them a second chance. And it's like, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, if they didn't give them a second chance, you wouldn't have voted for anybody on the girls team. Like, let's think about that. What was the alternative? Did they really have another way to do this? Like, I'm serious. If the girls team went out there and said, you know what, it's a competition and we feel bad for my man, but it is what it is. He's got to deal with a homeboy. Everybody would have been like, I'm not voting for anybody on the team. Fuck them guys. They're a pack of assholes. They went out there and they did the right thing because it really was the only thing to do, and that got them the votes, in my opinion. But this is just my opinion, and I'm biased. So that was what happened with GOT7. Next, we're going to do NCT Seventh Sense. I'm trying to remember what was going. Oh, I recall. So, Team NCT, both of the NCT teams were started off by the little boy who was the center for the Ichima song. So he picked the top 12 or 14 trainees in all of Produce. Like he's like, I picked the guys who the audience loves the most to be on my team. And then when they got split up into Seventh Sense and Boss, he picked like the top 6 guys or 7 guys to be on his team because he's trying to play it like Survivor. He's like, I want to pick the ones that the audience loves the most. And those are going to be the dudes that I'm going to have on my team so that we can knock this shit out the park. And so Team Seventh Sense had a lot of, I won't say winners necessarily, but they definitely had a lot of like visuals, guys who have energy from the crowd, if you will. But that energy doesn't always translate into singing. And Seventh Sense just was flat, like just flat. And I don't know how you overcome something like that. Like it had a bunch of dudes who, if this was a modeling competition, easily winners. But it was also a lot of dudes who did not have the raw talent to be on that stage. And so during practice, it was evident that dance was an issue. It was evident that vocals was an issue. Like it was just evident that there was a lot going on with them. And when they finally came out and did their song, if I had to choose between Boss and Seven Sense, I'm always going to choose Seven Sense. Like if we're just talking about NCT, not the stage performances, I'm talking about NCTU, the group, their releases. If I had to choose between Boss and Seven Sense always wins. Always. It's so perfect. It's so perfect. You know, first of all, I feel like it's better known, to be quite honest with you. But secondly, it just has like a really cool like vibe, you know, like the vibe of it is just really great. And so for them to come out there and deliver a performance that first of all was stiff. And if anyone's seen the performances for Seven Sense, those boys practically have liquid bones. These guys come out there and they move through it mechanically, like open your eyes, eating and open your eating and open your eyes. Like it was like chicken seasoned with salt. That ain't seasoning, homegirl. That ain't seasoning. Um, so Jordan Young makes an excellent point here. Says, if we're honest, every team needs visuals. Sorry. Hey, every team needs visuals, but you also have to balance it with talent in order for it to work. Popularity means nothing if it's so terrible people can't overlook it. Agreed. Excellent point. But yeah, they get out there and they basically give you chicken that's been seasoned with salt and nothing else. Like nobody threw no paprika on that bitch. Nobody threw no pepper on that bitch. Like you don't even have like a jalapeno in the background to squeeze the juice over the chicken. Like it is just salt and heat, and it is bland. It is. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me because, and I only say this because me and my daughter were talking about this in the car. It reminds me of Kids Bop. When my daughter was a little girl, she had to do a dance performance for the song Boom Boom Pow by the Black Eyed Peas. But if you ever heard that song, the later verses by the rest of the Black Eyed Peas have like some dirty shit. And so what they did is they played the Kids Bop version for the kids to dance to. And of course, they're amateurs. So, like, you have these kiddie sounds and you have these kind of amateur moves, and it all goes together. But it's not polished like the original. That is what this performance reminded me of. It's like the Kids Bop version of Seventh Sense. The moves are easier. They're not done with as much precision or professionalism. The vocals are not as sharp. It is just, it's lackluster at best. And it shows how strategic Dong Pyo is. And I'm going to start calling him like Pinky in the Brain. Like, well, I'm going to start calling him the Brain because that kid is smart. He's like, you know what? I picked all the pretty boys, but I do know that in this group of pretty boys, some of y'all have a little bit more talent than the others. So the ones that are going to be on my team are going to be the pretty boys who have a modicum of talent. Whereas I'm going to put that team with like the pretty boys who really, they're only here for looks and nothing else. So Team Boss gets out there and they perform. And it is fucking night and day, man. It is fucking night and day. It was so much better. So much better. So much better. It was like they actually tried. If you want to boil it down to it, it's like they actually tried. First of all, vocally it sounded really good. Secondly, our friend from Wee Wee Entertainment, or just Wee Entertainment, OUI, Wee Entertainment. Our friend from Wee Entertainment, Healy's, as he's known by friends, he's on Team Boss. And he was so funny because in the last episode, he was like, I am a vocal, I'm not a rapper. I don't think the rap thing is for me. And they're like, homeboy, I'm telling you, you're good at this. You ought to stick with this. So he's like really nervous and practicing the rap because like, I just don't think I can do this. So it's time for them to get in front of Juhani. And he's like, okay, man, feed it to me. Give it to me. And he's like, I mean, he's hitting it. He's doing it. He's got a flow. He's got rhythm. Like the only thing that was wrong is that like he looked like he was dancing to a country song because he was kind of doing like the foot tap, finger snap thing. But that's fixable because during the performance, he's not going to be standing still. He's going to be doing choreography, so that's fixable. But what he had is he had flow. And that is something that you got to have inside you. A perfect example of the opposite of that is Hyewon from season 3, Produce 48. When she had to do her rap lines, this is her doing her eh, eh, eh. So that's, yeah. Like, that was her. Like, dead eyes, dead face, no flow, no energy, no nothing. Cheetah was ready to throw that bitch off a bridge. However, this boy, like, he's got the raw material there. He's assuming that he's a vocal. I haven't heard him really sing that much because in his audition he did a 7 song. It really didn't sound that great. But rapping, this might be old boy's hidden talent. And when it came time for the group to do Boss, he shone. Like, straight up, he's gonna be in the final group. It's already decided. It wouldn't even be fair to place a bet on him. The only thing that can keep him from the final group at this point is a scandal in his past, or him like breaking a leg and not being able to perform. And even then, they might push him on stage and he'll still kill it anyway. But like, he killed it. He was so good. Oh my gosh, he was so good. So Boss won, and they won by a large margin because they brought the heat, they brought the energy. They had a really great rapper. The interactions were great, and then he did a really good job at the end. When it's time to get your like last words in to get the audience to be sympathetic, he's like, I just want to give a quick shout out to my teammates because I'm not a rapper. Those guys, they told me what to do, and every time they told me to do something, I just did it, and now here I am. So, shouts out to my main mans. And people love that. People love that. They love a humble queen. So yeah, it was no surprise that the Boss team won. But yeah, I was just like, how do you have the clear advantage and you still lose? That don't make no sense. You did tell me how this makes sense, y'all. All right, so we're on our final group of the episode. It's New East. So the songs were "Where You At" and "Deja Vu." Uh, Personally, I think that they should have, instead of going with New East W, they should have gone with New East Full. Instead, they did New East W, which, I mean, I get why they did New East W because they wanted to keep it very much related to produce. But I think if we had gone with New East as a full group, you would have had the option of doing Face, which would have been really nice. So, yeah, I think I would have preferred for them to not stick as shallowly with New East W. But I'm digressing here. So the New East teams represent all of the leftover losers. And because it was all of the leftover losers, everyone was depressed and sad and didn't feel like they could do anything. So all throughout their rehearsals, it was kind of like, I won't say a defeatist attitude, but kind of like there was just like an overall kind of pervasive sadness to all of their preparations for their performance. And when the time came to perform, I thought that "Where You At" was a stronger song in terms of like if I have to choose between Deja Vu or "Where You At," I'd rather perform "Where You At," like just personally. Um, but I didn't think either team particularly did very well. Like just thinking about it in my mind, the "Where You At" team had issues in practice with their I think it's their center not being able to hit the high notes, but he was able to pull it out in the end. The Deja Vu team, they end up trading out centers at the last minute, I believe. I think I'm right on that. I don't know. Either way, both performances were super forgettable. All I know is that the Deja Vu team won. And I only know that they won because the guy who was the team member or the team leader for Deja Vu was also the guy that looks like Tarian here on the YouTubes. And so I was like, oh, it's Shine Baby Muse. But yeah, like both performances left mucho to be desired. I didn't find any of it interesting, and I was pretty much done with the episode at that point. Like I was like, okay, let's get to these results. I don't want to hear no more. And I think that's just in general. Like I don't like it when people come into a situation and don't see the positives. Like the positives are you're still on. Okay, where you at is a team that won. Okay, I got it mixed up because it was the team with the white uniforms that won, right? So I may have got it mixed up. Maybe Deja Vu went first and then Where You At? I don't know. I don't recall. Again, light colored costumes. tend to win more than dark colored costumes. The more you know. But yeah, I just found the newest performances to be super forgettable. At that point in the episode, I was kind of done with everything. I was waiting to see the final results because we had a really big twist when it came to the final results for the group battles. So it was the same thing that they did last season. If your team won your group battle, then your team's votes would be multiplied by an exponential factor. Okay, well, the white team is the one that won, right? Am I wrong? The white team won. Somebody look it up. Somebody look it up on the internet and tell me which team won that battle because I distinctly remember Tarian's team winning. Somebody look it up for me because I don't know. Anyway, twist of the episode is that not only do you get your group votes multiplied if your team won their individual battle, but the team that had the highest score in the group battle gets to perform their song on Music Countdown or Mnet Countdown, Music Countdown, whatever. They get to perform their cover on one of these music shows, which is huge because traditionally your produce groups only get to perform once before the final lineup is made. They get to perform the lead single, Pick Me, Hachima, whatever the song happens to be. They get to perform that one time, and then after that, you don't really get to see anything until the final group is formulated. This time, you have a chance for not only for you to get exposure on television on the show anyway, but you get to perform it on a music show, which already makes people pay attention to you because they see you more often and you've been designated as special. So it's like it's a big boost for the votes and everything else. So huge win. When it came down to it, it was like I think it was the Love Shot group, uh, No More Dream, Love Shot group, No More Dream, and I think Energetic. I think those might have been the top three groups. I could be wrong though. Don't hold me to it. But in the end, it doesn't matter what the top three were because the winner was No More Dream. And I was so happy that No More Dream won because Mnet tried to do my man dirty by seeming like he was the fucking villain for his group. When they performed, he got the most votes of anybody on the team, and he carried his team into a bonus performance at a music show. So anyone calling him a villain could suck my ass because if it wasn't for his tenacity and his determination, the rest of them would have fallen by the wayside because there were a couple of boys in that group who did almost nothing. Like I think the only time that group, like when they were doing the individual rankings, I think the only time their side got less votes than the other side was like the bottom two. And it's because those were guys who just really weren't doing anything. But Satellites, my fave, the main, and a guy named Steve Kim or Stephen Kim, don't quote me on this, they really held that team together and they made it work. And I was really glad about that. So I'm looking forward to seeing their performance on the YouTubes because I don't know that they're going to broadcast it on the show. Next week's show is Results. So there's not going to be really much to talk about with that show. This is the thing, like, in that really the results show could be 30 minutes. It doesn't need to be 2 hours. It literally could be 30 minutes because at this point, no, no new shit can really be introduced because it's supposed to be live and it's supposed to show us who the public has voted for and who's not going to make it to go on to the next round. So really, I don't need, who was voted the cutest or who had the most oopsies behind the scenes and all that stuff. I don't need all that. I really don't need all that. All I need to find out is who got booted off the show and who didn't get booted off the show. I have a feeling there's a lot of trainees that I do not know. As you could tell by the way I use their names, there's a lot of trainees I do not know. But I feel like of the trainees that we've gotten kind of the most in-your-face action about, Timothy is going home for sure. So that's the only thing I know. Like, if I had to put my finger on it, I think Timothy's going home. The only reason why he would possibly stay on the show is that he gets enough sympathy votes behind his grandmother for people to keep him on the show. But outside of that, I don't see it for the kid. I really, really don't see it for the kid. And depending on how many votes are cast this season, there's a good chance that all this group battle stuff doesn't mean anything. Because your votes on the group battle, if you get the bonus, they multiply your votes by like I think 10 or 5, something like that, some crazy factor. But like last season, when they brought in the national producers votes, votes in the hundreds of thousands. So it's like, what does it matter if the top guy got 3,000 votes if you are in line to get 300,000 votes? Like it doesn't really matter. For example, Pretty Boy Minku, everybody loves him. They just think he's adorable. I find him to be very stiff. He's okay looking. He's not my choice when it comes to the type of guys I like, but he's okay looking. He's going to end up in the top 3. Whether or not he can sing or dance, he's going to end up in the top 3 because people like him. The public likes him. So even though his team didn't win and he didn't get the bonus from the group battle, he's going to be near the top because people love him. So at this point, like, there is no real advantage to winning the group battle when it comes to whether or not you can stay on the show. The advantage in the group battle is how does Mnet choose to edit you when it's time to release you to the public? That is where the advantage is. If Mnet can make people feel sorry for you, can make people think that you're adorable, make people that you think that you try really hard, those are the things that will build you up when it comes to Mnet. And that's the reason why I'm so upset about Tuesday, because he didn't get a bad edit this week. He got the Miyu edit. Like, for you guys who remember last season, Miyu was the trainee from AKB48. Well, she went from, like, she was part of the Japanese trainees, I should say that, because there's all the different prefectures. But she was one of the Japanese trainees that the public really, really loved. And Mnet edited her so fucking dirty. And they edited her dirty by not giving her positive edits or not editing her in at all. And she still somehow managed to make it to top 20. Even at the end of the show, she managed to make it to top 20, but she didn't make it into IZ*ONE. Meanwhile, they had one other trainee, Hyewon, who got the most sympathetic edit in the world, got all these positive comments put on her that really she didn't deserve, and she looks like a doe-eyed disaster. And she made it to the final group. And she still gets minimal lines in IZ*ONE's promotions because she just sucks, man. She sucks. And again, Mnet picks their fave, and their faves get promoted. So I feel like he's not going to get promotion. As long as Mnet has anything to do with it, he's not going to get promoted. But that kid is a winner. He's so much a winner that, Ashley Epidemic here on YouTube. She was on Twitter, and she's like, who's the short king from the Lullaby performance? I think I have to stan him. And it's like, oh, let me tell you about him, girl, because he's wonderful. Like, if somebody who doesn't even watch the show is able to pick him out of a performance where he doesn't even get the highlight treatment that a lot of people do, that says something about the talent. That says something about the talent. And it says something about the editing of the show, that is not the talent they focus on. Instead, they focus on the drama and who's their fave and who they want to win. Fuck Mnet for that. Okay, so comments. He can't do either. I just hope he's a member that gets like one line of song and then we get a lot of flashes of his face probably. I do feel bad that I don't know all the girls from IZ*ONE. You don't have to know all the girls from IZ*ONE. You don't have to. You can easily spot Hyewon when you look at IZ*ONE posters because she's the one who looks like there is no battery running in the light stick. Like that's her. When you look at everybody's faces, she's the one who looks like there's no battery in the light stick. But yeah, I just really feel like when it comes to Mnet, either you benefit or you are lost. And that's what is going to happen to my son if people don't start voting for him. He needs a grassroots campaign. People on the ground in Korea, you got to start, building websites for him. Y'all need to find pictures of him when he was a little kid. People from his school need to start talking about how wonderful he is. Like, he needs a surge of popularity. He needs something in the public that makes Mnet take charge. Because that is the thing that's going to keep him boosted up in the ratings. Because I've looked at, there's a wiki for Produce, and I went to the wiki because the wiki actually shows you what everybody's ranking is been from the beginning of the show. He got a huge boost after the first week when they showed the when they showed the individual trainees audition. He got a huge boost then. Since then, he hasn't gotten anything. Anything. He didn't even get that big of a boost when they did the actual song, even though he had that one moment where they showed him singing, but that's it. Hello. I am. Thank you for asking, Alondra. So yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just a matter of, are they going to give him the edit he deserves? Are they going to keep sleeping on him? And I feel like they're prepared to sleep on him forever. Forever. Will always be slept on because Mnet has their faves. Speaking of faves, Produce the like. In the previous video I filmed today, I talked about Kristen and how Kristen is kind of the only failure to officially be a failure out of the Produce system. Like, so far, we haven't really seen a lot from any of the girls that did season 3. That's a conversation to have. So, correct me, fill me in, give me knowledge. But from season 3, have we seen any big debuts from anybody? Let me know. I'm looking at the comments. There's something about plain Lay's potato chips. They're so good. So wonderful. Okay. Everglow. Glad you named them. So Everglow had their song come out, Cherry Bullet. I don't recall anybody. Well, I'll be honest, I don't pay attention to Cherry Bullet. But Everglow had their single come out. A lot of people who I am friends with, who I talked to on the Twitters and the YouTubes, bought Everglow. And they really liked Everglow. The songs like I'm going to Walmart, or we go to Walmart every day. I go to Walmart every day. You go to Walmart every day. That song. So that song, that group, off to a promising start. However, are they off to a promising start in Korea? Or are they off to a promising start in international fans' eyes? Someone clarify that for me, because I feel like nobody's talking about Everglow except for international friends. And then Cherry Bullet, FNC, I think all the drama going on with AOA, I don't even think international fans really care that much for Cherry Bullet, and I don't think they're doing any numbers in Korea either. I feel like they promoted for all of 2 days and then they went away. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see here. I really don't understand what Mnet wants, honestly, because I like IZ*ONE. I even collect their albums because I like the songs, but honestly, none of the members wow me in terms of talent. I don't know either. Now I know there are at least 3 trainees from the Japanese crew who have defected from the AKB system and have signed with Korean companies so they can make their debuts in Korea. I know one signed to Ulem, another to Mystic. I can't remember what the third one is. It is all here. I think maybe FNC. Could be wrong. But I say all that to say, I think Produce is losing some of the bloom. Because, like, we don't have this, like, swath of groups being created from the leftovers of Produce 48, like we did with Produce Season 2. Produce Season 1, there are a few people who, like, left the show and then joined groups. That was something that we saw a lot of. Produce Season 2, a whole bunch of these guys that didn't make the group end up debuting in groups and other stuff. Season 3, 2 groups have started promoting, but there's no groups that have been announced that are like waiting for members to leave Eyes One in order to promote or anything like that. Like, there's really nothing there. And it really makes me wonder, like, is it that the girls aren't that popular and that's the reason why we're not seeing as much kind of like spin-off type action from the girl seasons? Or is it that Produce itself is kind of losing its spotlight? Maybe the grade of trainees isn't that good. Let's see what it says here. Everglow is under a Chinese-based company, Hua Entertainment, so the Korean group isn't going for that, to be honest. I say that considering the tensions between Korea and China. Could be. There's a lot of drama when it comes to Korean and China involvement in K-pop. But like, there were a whole bunch of guys who got in groups that didn't make it on Produce to the final group. Like, I think JBJ might be one of them, if I'm correct. General Public, okay. So JBJ is an example of like guys who did really well on the show, didn't make the final group. They did something. But like, there were a lot of girls who did really well on Produce 48, didn't make it into the final group, and it's been almost crickets for them, which is really surprising to me. Also, I feel like Produce 101, the first season, the groups that these girls went to after they left IOI really haven't been doing that well. Meanwhile, New East is doing pretty good. Almost all the guys that were in 101 have been able to make it in either their solos or their respective groups. Everybody's waiting for AB6 to do something. Everybody is waiting for New East to do more stuff, and Bet Bet did really well. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So I guess to refine the question more is three questions. Did the level of trainees go down with Produce from season 1 to season 3? Number 2, is it that guys are automatically going to do better out of the box from one of these shows than the girls will because of the public? And then the third question is Priston's failure to thrive indicative of the upcoming failure of these Produce groups and Produce trainees? Because one of the things that we've acknowledged in America for a long time now is that when people join The Voice, American Idol, America's Got Talent, we expect to never hear from them again. The general public expects to never hear from them again. Now, American Idol was different in the beginning. Like, Kelly Clarkson is a household name in America. Fantasia is a household name in Black family homes. Even Ruben Studdard, to an extent, Clay Aiken, both of them are still kind of well known. I'm trying to think who else. Carrie Underwood, Adam Lambert. There are people from early American Idol that the public still recognizes and loves, and they have careers that go past their one appearance on television. But when it comes to, sorry, my hand is salty. When it comes to people on The Voice, I cannot think of a single winner who's done anything. Jordan Sparks is another one, early American Idol. The seasons with Katy Perry, I don't know any of those people. Daughtry was on the season that Taylor Hicks won. And like that actually, I can mark it to that. Taylor Hicks signaled the end of Idol success. Flat out. It was Taylor Hicks, Catherine McPhee, and Chris Daughtry. And everyone thought that Chris Daughtry was going to win. And for good reason, because like Rock was already kind of dying, but he had like this kind of energy that made you like him, even though Rock wasn't as popular as it used to be. And he ended up coming in third. And the look on his face and everyone else's face when he came in third, they're like, oh, are you serious? But that's okay, because Chris Daughtry had bops after his American Idol performance. My favorite song by Chris Daughtry is It's Not Over. That song is so great. He did a song for American Idol, actually. Shade of All Shades. Chris Daughtry, when he left American Idol, the next season they had him do the song that they play when people get sent home. And it was a song called I'm Coming Home. And that song was like a top 10 Billboard song. But it was so shady because like he was more successful than the guy who won, and they had the third place guy do the going home song instead of like the winner doing a song for them. And he ended up being more popular. Shade upon shade upon shade. But I used to love Chris Daughtry. Like I like the "I'm Coming Home" song, but "It's Not Over" was my fucking jam. That, and also I think the relationship in the "It's Not Over" video was an interracial relationship, which was progressive for the time. So I'm all about it. But yeah, I remember that. It's not over. I'm gonna do it right this time around. It's not over until a part of me is dead and in the ground. This love is killing me, but you're the only one. Ah, such a great song. I hope I don't get copyright tagged because I sound just like the album. Let's see here. Comments. Let's see. Produce mainly helps the final group when it comes to success. It's harder for the IOI girls to get that level of support and fandom power after disbandment. Chris Daughtry had edge, true, true, true. I was hella mad when he went home. What's crazy is that Goo Goo Dolls debuted before Priston and Wiki Mickey, and those groups haven't disbanded yet. That is true, and which makes this whole Priston thing seem even more weird. I have found many, not all, post-produce girl groups. The produced members completely outshine the other members. The other members are not as memorable. But is that because you have a historical bias towards the members, or is it really that the other members can't compete? Questions. I love Chris Daughtry, and is he still touring? I don't know. I hope he is. Oh, thank you, Jade. I'm glad that you appreciate it. Thank you, Alondra, for saying I'm the queen of vocals. Yeah, I worry about Goo Goo Dolls. I think we all worry about Goo Goo Dolls. Well, the main problem with Goo Goo Dolls is their name is Goo Goo Dolls. I think everyone, when they heard that name, was like, the fuck do you mean Goo Goo Dolls? Which I think Goo Goo Dolls means mermaid in Korean. Am I wrong? Somebody correct me. But like, yeah, Goo Goo Dolls was a bad name. It was a bad start. And their first song had a terrible concept. Nobody liked it. Like everything was wrong with Goo Goo Dolls, and it just never quite got where it needed to be this whole time. Now they use 8 since Goo equals 9 in Korean. Oh, that's so funny. Anyway, so in America, like I was saying before I got stuck on a Chris Daughtry tangent, oh my gosh, there have been some really good songs from American Idol. I have to be honest with you. Like there's been some real hits when it comes to American Idol. I think my favorite, like if I had to pick a song to be like my favorite song that the Idol comes out with after they won the show, it's probably always going to be A Moment Like This by Kelly Clarkson. Like that song is a classic. Let's explore my tangent for a minute, shall we? So we're going to talk about winners with American Idol, since we're talking about reality shows, and I feel like Produce and American Idol, same animal. When Kelly Clarkson had her song to sing at the end of her show, and it was A Moment Like This, I almost cried. I love that song. To this day, that song makes me misty-eyed. I love that fucking song. I forget who won the second season, but I think the second season was Ruben Studdard and Clay Aiken. I do not remember Ruben Studdard's song. What I do remember is Ruben Studdard's single after he won American Idol, which was Sorry 2004. Why do I remember that the song title is 2004? Because the chorus goes, and baby, I'm sorry for 2004, and I'm not gonna mess up no more this year. I'm gonna take this one shot and make it real clear. It's like, my man, I get that it's hard to find a word that rhymes with for, F-O-R. Don't go with for, F-O-U-R. That's not a good move, because now we're in 2019 and 15 years later you're still singing about 2004? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Okay. So then I think the season after that was the season that Fantasia won. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure I am. But Fantasia, the year she won, I don't remember much about her song because I remember her crying through her entire song, and that's really all I recall. That, and I think she got the lyrics wrong because she was illiterate at the time. But I remember distinctly her performances during the show and her season being the best season of American Idol, bar none. Fight me if you wanna. The season that Fantasia Barrino was on American Idol was the same season that Jennifer Hudson was on American Idol. And Jennifer Hudson got sent home in like the sixth round or something. She got sent home on like Elton John night. And Jennifer Hudson, as you know, has become a massive star from here. Like just huge, just huge. Anytime a famous black person dies, Jennifer Hudson is on the Grammy singing that tribute. That girl has got a job forever. And so, best season of American Idol. There's one performance in particular that was the performance when everyone knew that Fantasia was going to win the season. It was like Broadway song night. And Fantasia sang the song Summertime from the Broadway play. Yep, there you go. She sang the song Summertime from the Broadway play Porgy and Bess. And I goosebumps. Even remembering it, like I feel like I need to scratch my back because I can feel the goosebumps like coming up my back and across my cheeks. She is a one of a kind talent. The fact that she came from American Idol is amazing because she really is the truth. She sang a song when she came out, her first single when she came off of American Idol was Truth Is. It was an okay song. On that same album was a song called Baby Mama, which only got played on black radio stations. It was my theme song the year Stephanie was born because I wasn't married to my husband when I first had my daughter. We got married about a year and a half later. My daughter came early. We had plans to get married. We were going to get married, but I didn't want to get married while I was big pregnant. And also she came early. So like it ruined all the plans we had. So we got married a little bit later. Anyway, I digress. That song played on the radio while I was going back and forth to the hospital. And at the time I was a baby mama. So that song was like my jam. Every time it came on, BABYMAMA. Love that song so much. But my favorite Fantasia song to this day is Free Yourself. For those of you who listen to Fantasia, I know I'm wildly off topic. Y'all can leave if you want to, but I'm just saying. For those of you who listen to Fantasia, I think that is everybody's favorite song. But the chorus is like the song that every woman who's ever been done wrong by a man needs to sing to herself because it's the absolute truth. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. Seriously, if you don't want me, don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. Talent. So let's see. Justin Guarini was on the same season as Kelly, right? It's kind of fuzzy. Yes. Justin Guarini and Kelly Clarkson were on the same season. And Justin Guarini and Kelly Clarkson did that stupid movie from Justin to Kelly with Love. It was like a High School Musical beach party type movie. Never watched it because I'm not throwing my money away for some shit like that. That's life I'll never get back. And now Justin Guarini is in commercials. Is it Skittles? He's in these series of commercials where he plays like Little Justin, I think is his name, or Little G. And he like bursts through the wall, tells somebody to eat a candy bar, and then rides off. It is the stupidest commercial in the world. If I was able to link things, I would. But it's such a dumb commercial. But, you know, at least the man has a job. Because he had a problem, like, right after. I remember what happened. Justin Guarini was supposed to have an album come out after the show. Because you guys probably don't remember because it's been so long. But Justin Guarini, when American Idol ended, people loved Justin Guarini almost as much as they loved Kelly Clarkson. Like, he was massive, and he was supposed to have an album come out. They had done From Justin to Kelly with Love, which was a terrible movie, but people still had goodwill for Justin. Justin goes out, not skiing, but like, there's a motorboats, you know, not yachts, but like speedboat, motorboat type thing. Somehow or another, somebody gets killed running into his speedboat, yacht, whatever. Totally ruins his career. Everybody, he's a murderer, and it just, jet ski, I think, yeah, just totally throws it off, and he never really recovered. So now he's doing these, from what it sounds like, Dr. Pepper commercials, but he was supposed to be big. And there have been people that, like I said, come from the show that came second runner up and they still had a great career. Jennifer Hudson, Dream Girl, she knocked it out the park. Chris Daughtry, great second career. So, it's not over when you don't win the show in the early days. Now it's like people are more famous for not having made it on the show than they are for winning. Adam Lambert. Adam Lambert has a permanent gig singing for Queen for the rest of his life. Like for the rest of his life, he will always have a job singing for Queen because he makes that money. So he lost to is his name Philip Lambert? Is that his name? He's the guy who did the cover of the Kanye West song on his season. Anyway, yeah, Adam Lambert got robbed. Chris Allen. Oh, Chris Allen. That was when it was like consecutive white boy with guitar, white boy. And this is not me calling him white boy with guitar. That was like the thing that they called him. It was like a whole meme thing, like white boy with guitar. That was like winning season after season after season of Idol for a while. Chris Allen was boring. Like, let's just be honest, Chris Allen was boring. But yeah, Adam Lambert didn't win because Adam Lambert was extremely flamboyant. Even though he didn't come out as gay during the show, he was so flamboyant it just made no sense. And so you couldn't really draw any other conclusion. Like he was basically putting it out there without waving the rainbow flag. But Adam Lambert kept a career. And he had a really hot song with that Pink song that he did. The What Do You Want From Me song, that was a Pink song, and then he did it. And now people don't even remember it's a Pink song. But yeah, he did really well. I don't think that Fifth Harmony won their season when they were on X Factor, and they did really well. And now Camille Cabello, is that her name? Camille Cabello, Cece, that girl. She's doing really well. Normani's trying to have a career. The rest of the girls are kind of struggling, but one day things might turn around. But yeah, Fifth Harmony did really well. I don't think that One Direction won their season of X Factor. They did really well. The only other British X Factor person that anybody really remembers is Leona Lewis. Is that her name? Bleeding Love, that girl. I remember her very well because I remember hearing Bleeding Love on the radio over and over and over again and being like, if she doesn't stop caterwauling about her broken heart. Okay, so Little Mix did win. So that is an example of a winner that made it. So that's awesome. But yeah, like a lot of times these runners up, they get more shine. Oh, wasn't I might be wrong. I was gonna say, isn't the other group from one of the reality shows in the UK too? The sun comes up, the sun goes down, the whatever. I can't remember. Fun fact, Jesse McCartney wrote Bleeding Love for Leona Lewis. Really? I did not know that. The Wanted, there you go. Weren't they like one of those pre-manufactured groups as well? Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say they're not organic. But yeah, Jesse McCartney, what is he up to? What is he up to? I know he had a song come out not that long ago because it showed up as an ad on one of the videos I was watching. But I don't remember. I get distracted so easily, y'all. But anyway, yeah, sometimes you find more fame not winning than you do for winning because it becomes a part of your narrative. It becomes a part of they didn't choose me, but I was able to come back from it. They did auditions for The Wanted, and that's how the group was made. But like private auditions. Yeah, wasn't it a Simon Cowell thing? Simon Cowell is a fucking Grinch. I don't like that dude. He's not on America's Got Talent anymore, I don't think. But I mean, he's sorting out his life, so it is what it is. But yeah, I think sometimes the narrative is if you didn't win, that actually behooves you a little bit more. Whatever happened to the little boy from The Wanted who was dating Ariana Grande for a while? I think his name's Nathan. Does he have any new music out? Because the song he did on Ariana Grande's project was fire. Almost Is Never Enough. Am I the only one who really dug that first Ariana album? That first Ariana Grande album, like low-key, high-key, is her best work. I really, really love that album. And her and Nathan did that song, Almost Is Never Enough. Oh, so good. So, so good. I would sing that for you, but I don't want to make your ears bleed. But I'm just saying, if you've never heard it, you need to listen to it. Do you guys have faves for this produce season that you don't want to win, but to get popular after? Or is it the best people never actually win? Okay. So if the answers to all of my questions that I previously posited are yes, and if there's people that I don't want to win, but I want them to do successful after, to be quite honest with you, I want all of my favorites to win. Because if they don't win, depending on the company they're with, they're not going to do anything. So, for instance, let's say that my favorite trainee was a Starship trainee and he didn't make it into the final group for this season. It would be 2.5 years before his group would be able to debut as a whole. And that is not something that I feel like is sustainable. So for that reason alone, I wouldn't necessarily want my favorite to not win the show. I want my favorite to win the show. My absolute favorite on this season so far is Choi Shuan. He is my favorite. Tuzi. I love him. I think he is so completely underrated, but he is also an individual trainee. He does not have an entertainment company. Because he does not have an entertainment company, it is key that he wins. He has to win. Just like Jaewon from season 2 had to win, this boy has to win. Because if he doesn't win, I'm not sure he'll ever be heard from again. So that's the reason why I can't say that I want someone to not make the final group but still get popular, because I don't see it happening for the people that I want to win. Like the people that I like the most, if they don't win, there's no out for them. There's no follow up for them. Like the kid from We Entertainment, he's gonna make it regardless. People have loved him from day one. Unless something tragic happens, he's gonna make it. So I don't even put him in the same category. But like Miyu, if she had made IZ*ONE, it would have changed her life. As it stands now, she may or may not do well when she finally releases her Korean project, but nothing will be as good as what she could have done if she had made it into IZ*ONE. Facts is facts. The Giraffe Twins didn't make it into IZ*ONE. Have we heard anything from them since? Even if they came out with something tomorrow, it's not as good as them being a part of IZ*ONE. So no, there's nobody that I'm thinking would be good not making the final group. Jade, why don't we is all white while pretty much has more people of color, if that helps. I don't know. I missed that part of the conversation. But yeah, ugh, I'm sad. I'm sad because I feel like I'm gonna be destined to have my heart broke again this year. I could feel it in my bones. They're gonna try to break my heart again, and I don't want it. I don't want it. I need Tuzi to dye his hair again. He was blonde when the show started, and they dyed his hair black. I don't know if he dyed his hair black because they told him to, or if he had to do it because he wanted to. But dyeing his hair black was the completely wrong move. I think that they did it. I think he did it to kind of capitalize more on the fact that he looks a lot like Woozy from 17, but it was a bad look for him because now he looks like everybody else. I think instead of dyeing his hair dark, he should have gone like bright purple or something crazy like that. That is my opinion. Shuan is in a very precarious position, like all the other individual trainees and the ones from unknown companies. Actually, of course, I can't imagine not wanting my fave to get in because the final group is guaranteed so much success. Exactly. That makes me kind of sad. I have a lot of unshown faves. I think we all do. I think we all have somebody who's in the background that we're like, you can do it, and then they don't do it, and you're like, oh fuck. Like there's a lot of vocalists that don't get the shine that they deserve. If they don't have a pretty face, fuck it. You're in the background. Maybe we'll finally get different hairstyles next week. Maybe. Let us hope. But yeah, I'm very sad. I'm very sad. Okay, so let me tell you something that I did that is extraneous stuff. I was talking to Jade on the phone, and I told her I kind of want to go back and watch season 2 because I only watched all of season 3. I didn't watch any of season 1 or 2. The PR videos really messes me up. I think my heart will break if Yuvin doesn't make it. He is so talented. Listen, if Yuvin doesn't make it, it will make me sad. However, if his teammate from my team makes it, that makes me feel way better because I feel like Yuvin, at the very least, he has a voice that's capable of sustaining my team until the other guy got out of the final group and vice versa. So like they both can kind of keep the team going until the 2.5 years is over and they can do dual promotions. That's something. That's at least something. But still, it'd be better for him to make the final group. Absolutely. Um, Sungyeon from Unique, who was in the Love Shot group, is my fave, and I don't want to win. To be honest, I just want him to get popular after the show. Okay, I mean, Ace, Ace, members of Ace did really well in the unit, and they did good in mix and match, I believe. That didn't necessarily translate into success for Ace. Definitely their profile increased, people took them more seriously, they've been able to increase their sales, but not to the point where people mention them in the same breath as even ATEEZ, which is crazy because Ace has been around longer. So I say all that to say, them being able to keep promoting with their group and not promote with the produce group doesn't necessarily mean that that group's profile is just going to blow up, because CLC, one of their members was in produce and she didn't make the final group and she went back to the group and it did nothing for CLC. Even though she did okay on the show, it did nothing for CLC. So that's what I'm saying. It's not making the group isn't going to necessarily elevate the profile of their main or original group. If anything, you want a newest type situation. Like the newest situation is ideal because you have one member who's in the main group, but you have several members, including vocalists, who are in the leftovers, and they are able to promote successfully until that member is free, and then they have a very successful comeback. So that is the ideal setup for everybody. That is what makes the whole team benefit, for real. Okay, I hope Imidam gets more screen time. Getting popular after the show is so hard. The general public cares about the final group. Absolutely. Wei and Wushin, as well as Sungwoo, are my faves. So yeah, like as far as I'm concerned, getting into that final group is key to continued success forever. I mean, there was this rumor, and I'm saying rumor because I haven't heard anything about it since, but there was a rumor that the girls from IOI were going to try to get back together and reform the group, which that would make sense because most of them aren't really doing much and the public really likes IOI. The problem is Chungha doesn't need IOI at all. Like she's doing just fine. That girl, she's doing just fine. Also, Somi's not trying to join them. And depending on how her solo goes, she might never need to join them because she's on YG now. And so I wonder, will an IOI reunion really be the thing that the fans are looking forward to? Or are people going to look at the girls from IOI when they reunite and be like, oh, well, y'all just had to do that because nobody cares about what you did after the show? Like, is that fandom still there? I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see here. Come on, comments. I just finished watching season 2. I think I know what to expect from this season now, kind of. Okay, since 5 years is how long the contract is, has Mnet said whether the winners can promote with their original groups? Yes, they have. They said you do 2.5 years only promoting with whatever the group is that Produce makes, and then the second 2.5 years you're doing dual promotions. So you promote half the time with the Produce group and half the time with whatever group you happen to be involved with, or if you're a soloist, you get to do solo stuff when the Produce group is not performing. So it's this number, which is good in some ways, terrible in others. What makes it terrible is that depending on how often the produce group happens to perform, if they perform 6 months out of the year, or they're touring 6 months out of the year, that means there's only 6 months where the other group or solos can happen. So they're all going for music shows at the same time, they're all trying to release albums at the same time, they're all trying to get in as much tour schedule as they can. And the people who are actually in the produce group are going to be working twice as hard as anybody else because they're having to do full-time work with their produce group, full-time work with their home group, and it said half-time promoting, which is even more because tours and music shows and award shows are considered promotion. But you don't record an album as part of promotion. That's just behind the scenes backstage work. So they're going to have to not only promote half the time, but they're also going to have to spend at least a month or two doing recordings, doing choreo, costume fittings, all that, taking photographs, filming music videos, all that kind of stuff in order to be able to promote. And then they've got to be able to do all the stuff that their group requires in order for them to be a part of their group's promotion. So it's kind of a shitty situation to be in. I tried to watch season 2 as well, and I don't understand that either. It's weird because I knew who was going to make it, but I still was like, no, there is so many really talented people. Well, that's the reason why so many people that didn't make it on the show end up forming groups after the show was over. Some of them were really good, but haven't done anything to this day. Some of them haven't done anything to this day, and others have. I didn't realize that the one little kid, because I only watched the first episode, I haven't watched the second episode yet, but there's a little kid who auditioned for the second season, the produce season, and he was like 15 at the time, and Kang Daniel kept like petting his head and giving him hugs and stuff. That little kid didn't make it into the final group, and he ended up being a part of the East Light. I didn't realize this, and I was so sad because like that is your worst case scenario from a thing like this. That kid was talented. He could sing, he could dance, like he was really good. He could even sing in English, and his English was actually very well. They even asked him, "Are you Korean?" And he's like, "No, I'm no." They said, "Are you Weigukin?" And he's like, "No, I'm Hangul." Like whatever. He was telling them he's Korean, and I was like, I wonder what this kid is doing because his face is not familiar to me, so I don't think he made it into the final group. I went to look it up. Sure enough, not only was he part of the East Light, but he was one of the members of the East Light that was being abused. And I'm just like, for fuck's sake. Like, I don't know if this kid can recover. And he didn't show up for this season, so he missed his chance to do a redemption arc already. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to him. So, there's a lot of worse things that can come out of this than just being unknown, for sure. There's being totally taken advantage of and beaten. But, this is K-pop. And K-pop is messy. I don't remember what the East Light Company name is, but I want to say the kid's name is Woojin. I think that's his name. I think it's Woojin. Don't quote me on that. But yeah. Sad day. Sad day. Oh! The other person on season 2 that I was wondering about was Moonbok, who is the guy with the long, luxurious hair. He's done a whole bunch of commercial stuff. He's dyed his hair. He kept the long hair. But he's done a bunch of stuff. And he came in pretty high on the season he was on. I went to his Instagram, and he is such a promotion whore. It's like not even fun. I went to his Instagram, and every single post on his Instagram was like hashtag red velvet, hashtag Blackpink, hashtag winner, hashtag K-pop, hashtag twice, hashtag once. Like, he does this like block of hashtagging for every single thing that he posts on Instagram. It is disgusting. I hate it. I hate when people do shit like that. And I know. If you don't promote yourself, who's gonna promote you? But it's just so embarrassing. So embarrassing. Moonbok is Jenna and Edan's love child. I can see it. I can definitely see it. Speaking of Hannah, Edon, Jesse, I don't know how this happened, but somebody on Twitter said something about like Jesse is in blackface or blackfishing. Somebody accused Jesse of blackfishing on Twitter. And I had never really thought about it before, but I know like me and Jade have talked about the fact that Jesse reminds us a lot of like Lil Kim. And I was thinking about the fact that like Jesse is super tan. Like not kind of tan, like really tan. And she always wears her hair blonde to like super show off her tan. And I'm wondering, is Jessie blackfishing? Because Hyonan has been accused of doing the super tan to get a more black look. But I don't find her tan to be that extreme. There was a period when her hair was black, when her tan looked really heavy. But like Jessie, she puts on the very kind of aggressive, kind of Ebonics influenced rap voice. She's got the super tan skin. She's twerking in the I Won't Let You Down video. Is Jessie blackfishing? I'd love to hear your opinions on that. Let's see here. How's Stephanie? Did she get to her dad's? Yes, she did. She got there very safely. Thank you. Is he still doing commercials? Because the last time I saw him was on an in-flying MVs. I think he is still doing commercials. He's supposed to be debuting in a group soon. That'll be interesting. I wonder what kind of group he's going to debut with, because he was not the dancer on his audition for Produce. Is Jesse a blackfish? I don't know. There's a lot of people that get accused of blackfishing. Like all the Kardashians get accused of blackfishing, especially Kylie and Kim, because tan skin, big asses, big titties, big lips, whole thing. But yeah, if Jessie didn't put on her really heavy kind of black voice when she raps, if Jessie didn't have dark skin, what does a Jessie sound like? I don't know. Because I don't know if you guys watch a podcast called Fun with Dumb, but Dumbfounded, the rapper in Korea and in America, he raps both. He has a podcast called Fun with Dumb, and he interviews all these different people. He's interviewed Jay Park, he's interviewed Jessie, he's interviewed a few other folks. But when he interviewed Jessie does not sound the same in the interview as she did on Unpretty Rap Star. She doesn't sound the same in the interview as she does when she's rapping at all. And it's just, I don't know, man. It really does beg the question, is she out here trying to pull a con? I don't know. We'll see. So I'm not sure what else to talk about, because I've really gone over the produce subject very thoroughly. We even had some American Idol voice talk. I still can't name anybody who's won on The Voice. I can't name any runners up on The Voice. I know nothing about The Voice, y'all. I know that Adam Lambert quit The Voice. And I know that a lady from The Voice died recently of cancer. Her name was Janice. No, she didn't die of cancer. She had like a heart attack and died, or a stroke. Like it was an instant death, but she had battled cancer before. Adam Levine. Yeah, Adam Levine quit the show. Yeah, I don't really know much about The Voice, to be honest with you. And there's only one girl on The Voice that I really know anything about, and it's only because I watch a show called The Terrell Show here on YouTube. Terrell is spelled Terrell. If you've never watched his show, you have to watch his show if you like singing, because his show is so good. Anyway, there's a white girl from The Voice who's saying How Deep Is Your Love, and she came on his show, and that bitch could blow. She was so good. So that's the only one. I don't know nobody else. I don't know anybody from that show that Puff Daddy's on either. P. Diddy, I don't know any of that. So Jordan says, I don't feel like she's blackfishing necessarily, but she's also not being completely herself. She keeps up a persona that people know her for. put Metallica 1. I found old pictures of her, and she does have darker skin. There is a difference between having darker skin and having orange brown skin. Like, for instance, me, my skin, I this is my color. I don't do anything to enhance it. I don't put extra lotion on it. I don't do nothing. This is the color I am. And my color of my face is a little bit lighter than my hands, but it is what it is. Jessie is darker than me. And I don't think it's necessarily natural. Just saying. Not saying, but just saying. I only know the four for the Diddy meme. Ha! There is a girl. Oh, there is a girl from the four. I don't know her name, but she was on a Kids React episode because she's like 17 and she's a white girl with dreadlocks. And I remember she kind of had the same criticism of, is she blackfishing? Because she was a white girl with dreadlocks, which is a traditionally African American hairstyle. Fight me if you wanna. And she sings with a black scent. You can look her up. Just look up the four dreadlocks, and you'll find that girl. Anyway, she sang a Lauryn Hill song, I think, and she sang a couple other songs I cannot recall. Her voice is good. She has a good voice. And there are a lot of white women whose voices I enjoy on the regular who have black scents. I can name a few off top. Yebba, the singer Yebba, her name is spelled Yebba. It's basically the name Abby spelled backwards. Great voice. There's a song she has called In My Mind that she does a live performance of. So good. She's got all the runs. She sounds like she's in a gospel choir. Like, really, really wonderful. Napalm from the group Hiatus Coyote has a black scent. Joss Stone has a black scent. JoJo, the singer JoJo from here in the States, she has a black scent. And I love JoJo. I love her so much. But yeah, like there are white girls who I enjoy who sing with black scents. So I can't say that I'm not in league with the black scenting. But I think what makes a difference with them is that Yeba doesn't have dreadlocks. Her skin is not tan. She's not trying to look like anything other than what she looks like. Same thing with Napalm. That girl has got like a tattoo on her face and she's got her head shaved on the sides and she wears like basically homeless woman clothes. JoJo just looks like JoJo and has always looked like JoJo. She always looked like a teenager that goes to your local high school and just happens to be the one white girl who can sing. Whereas this little girl from the four, she has kind of tan skin, not super tan, but kind of tan. Again, she's rocking dreadlocks, and when she sings, has a strong black scent that is not present when she's talking all the time. It's a question. It's a thought. It's a conversation. But I don't want to get into cancel culture and cultural appropriation because that stuff is hard. JoJo is the unexpected white girl that can sing. Like, JoJo literally is that scene in the movie, like a Sister Act type deal, where it's like, hey, Heather, why don't you come up here and lace us with a few bars? No, guys, I really can't. I don't sing in front of people. I'm really shy. Come on, girl. Everybody knows that this is family. We're not going to laugh at you. Come on, just give us a little something. I know what. Why don't you sing SWV's Weak? That's a classic. Everybody knows that song, right? That's right. True enough. Come on, girl. It's okay. Everybody's clapping for a second. I'm shy. Can you play the piano? I don't want to start a cappella. So they're playing the piano. And she goes, I don't know what it is that you've done to me. And someone from the back says, sing it louder! But it's got me to act in such a crazy way. Come on, girl, you can do it. And then all of a sudden, cause my heart starts beating triple time with thoughts of having you on my mind. And all of a sudden, it's like, where'd this voice come from? Was this a setup? Did y'all know this was going to happen all along? Did you trick me? Why are you acting bashful when you know you sound like that? What's going on here? Who are you lying to? Like, that's kind of how JoJo is to me. Like she is that one that is that classic setup of like you don't see it coming and then all of a sudden she opens her mouth and then you totally see it coming. Like that's her. That's absolutely her. Uh and also she has a song with PJ Morton that is really really good if you like JoJo. It's a song called Before I Go. It is so nice and it sounds so like 70s Stevie Wonder-esque, but it's got their two voices together. So good. So good. If you love me. Oh, that song so much. Speaking of songs I don't love, Dean came out with a new song. I don't love it. Howling 404. Do not love it. Alondra, I think I told you that. I've tried to listen to it a couple more times. Yeah. I like Dean. I love 130 Trouble Mood. 130 Mood Trouble. I'm sure I'm saying the order wrong. Classic album. Best album the year it came out. Absolutely hands down. Packaging was awesome. Discography, no skips. It's perfect. Perfect. He did a couple of projects. He did the song with the internet. He did a song with, was it with Yedim or Jimin from from 15N? I don't remember which one now. I think it was Jimin from 15N that he did the song with. Uh, he's done some other little projects here and there. Instagram, fantastic song. Totally raised our expectations for what we thought the album was going to be. And then nothing for a while. He did that one song with Sully. That song was okay. But this song, I get that it's for a project with Apple, so it's like I think it's a commercial song, so it's not really meant for consumption. But the song he did for Colors was really good, and that was a commercial song. Uh, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Dean, man. He got a weird ass haircut a couple years ago, and he's just been like not trying to show his face, being real kind of. All of his Instagram stuff is about different art stuff he's seeing or pictures of his friends, and every time they photograph him, he's always covering his face and wearing a hat. So it's like this number. I don't know what's going on with Dean, man. I'm praying for him. I hope everything's okay. I really do. I really hope everything's okay. Meanwhile, Crush can't sit down. Hermitish. Good word. Hermitish. But yeah, Crush on the other hand is like collabing with everybody. He's done so many projects, so many albums. It's ridiculous. Let's just hope that his new album is good, which I know it will be. I mean, I can't even say that I know. If this new song is indicative of the direction he plans to go with his album, I will be very skeptical on whether or not I'll be able to love it. But he's not the first person who like totally changed all of a sudden. It's just like, what the fuck's going on? If any of you are familiar with Lim Kim, she came out with a new song recently. She's no longer with her record label, and I don't know if her and the record label got into it. I don't know what's going on, but the new song is called Salki. I think it's called Salki or Saluki, Salaki. I don't know. Anyway, bruh. I mean, the song has a great message. The song is rough on the ears. It doesn't sound like any of her old stuff. She's rapping on the song. She's rapping completely in English. It is a strange. It's a trip, man. It's a trip. It's Dean Elmhart for us international fans to come by. Um, Dean's album is really his. He only has one album. Everything else is digital singles. But Dean's first album, 130 Mood, you can get it everywhere. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Catch Up CD, K Town for You, Choice Music, Music Plaza. It's everywhere. It's not hard to get it all. He hasn't come out with any other physical albums since then. Instagram was digital only. At the time that Instagram came out, he said that it was going to be a part of an album. And then I think he said something about like samples needing clearance and maybe some other stuff going on. Anyway, here we are over a year and a half later, and nada, nothing. Dude that got kicked out is still trying to find a new company. The good news is that Ehi is making a comeback soon. Damn right. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that Ehi is finally getting a song, an album, anything, hell, even just a mention, because YG does her so dirty all the time. The last project that I heard Ehi's voice was a song for Code Kunst. Um, Outside of that, I don't think I'd heard her voice on anything in a while. Uh, but YG plays games because he doesn't care about women's careers or how him not releasing projects for them impacts their careers. But she has an album coming out, and I cannot wait because she is deserving of everything positive in the world, and a person like YG should not be allowed to steal that from her. So yeah, I'm excited. I've already pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered it along with AT's album, this new album that's coming out. So yeah, I'm really hopeful for her. But it has Bi in it, right? And honestly, I think I'm one of the only people that doesn't really like his rapping. You're not the only person who doesn't like Bi's rapping. Hell, a lot of iconics don't really like Bi's rapping. To be honest with you, he's not as good of a rapper as Bobby. I mean, fight me in the comment section, I guess, but Bobby's a better rapper than Bi. Bi tries too hard, it throws him off. She should yeet out of IG. Changyuk from Akmu is out of the military tomorrow or today, so hopefully he and his sis. Man, I really hope Akmu gets the hell out of YG. First of all, I think what really needs to happen is that YG needs to collect his ass whooping from the brother from Akmu because he told him before he left for the military, take care of my sister, make sure she's set, don't fuck around with her career, release music for her, I'm trusting you. And what does the motherfucker do? She gets no promotion, no projects, no Nathan for 21 months. He could have been had her doing, at the very minimum, she could have been singing the hook for a winter project or for something with anybody. He didn't have her doing shit while her brother was in the military. That is so fucked up. So really, YG needs to catch this fade. Her brother owes him an ass whooping. Like, straight up. Like, the first thing he needs to do when he comes out of training camp and everybody's taking pictures of, like, I just want to announce to the press, I'm going to be arrested at 4 o'clock tomorrow because I'm on my way to the YG building to whoop ass. If you don't want to catch these hands, I suggest you run because I'm not making no stop between here and there. So, yeah. She got a radio show and her YouTube channel. That's nothing. Um, a drama, a radio show, a YouTube channel. Is that singing? Is that singing? No. And the thing is, like, she has such a distinct voice and she does stuff with her voice that no one else is doing. And it's just like, she could be singing hooks. You know, we could have had High CM come back. Exactly. Everybody likes that song. Everybody likes that song. Na 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 na. Good girl. I always remember that song. That's such a good song. It had Bobby in the song. Did she at least get OSTs? That's not enough. She deserves a fucking album. She deserves a fucking album. I'm sure her brother probably even sent her songs. I wouldn't be surprised if her brother sent songs and said, like, listen, I know I'm in the military, but they give me pen and paper. And so I spent my break time writing a song for my sister. All you need to do is ask Teddy if he's got 5 minutes that he's not busy working on Blackpink and pulling out old 2NE1 demos. If he could just run over to my sister's place real quick and drop off these notes. Yeah, Bobby is a good rapper, but he gets on my nerves. I don't know why, but Acme is the only YG group that I'm very interested in. Bobby, I think, gets on people's nerves because he swears that he is fine. Like, he is that guy who you cannot tell him anything about his appearance. And, you know, it's great to have self-confidence. I'm not saying that he shouldn't love himself. Quite the opposite. Good for you. I wish more people love themselves the way that Bobby loves Bobby. But, like, when Bobby is out, when Bobby and Mino did their joint album and Bobby's video was him, like, shirtless and trying to flex, it's like, who is this boy? What makes you think that anyone wants to see your chicken chest? Don't nobody want to see this. Ain't nobody asking for this. You have got the game fucked up. Nobody wants this. No one at all. Not a single entire human being asked for this. But he swears he is fine. And he just like, he grins so big. He's like, me and my buck teeth are beautiful. The ladies love it. And you can't tell me shit. And it's just like, I'm glad you have confidence because you, at the very least, keep your shirt on. Please, 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 please. Bobby is my bias, but he still looks like Rufus from Kim Possible. That's not nice. You're mean. YG played Mob. That could have been great. It could have been great, but it is what it is. But yeah, well, I think that the reason why Mob didn't work is because I think Bobby got mad that Mino's song did better. I'm not saying that he's bitter, but I'm just saying, like, when it came to the two songs, everybody liked Mino's song better. It was the hot shit on the streets. And it's not Bobby slander. We all know Bobby looks crazy. We know Bobby looks crazy out here with these buck teeth and these eyes that barely open and this chicken chest. He looking like a smooth built toothpick. He is scrawny. He looks like a walking stick figure. Bobby is built like an upside down exclamation point. If you don't hit the gym, why do you need to show something off? They did this in produce. Oh, I forgot to mention that. I totally forgot to mention all of the boys throwing up their shirts when they ain't got nothing to see but smooth baby chest. Like the little boy from No More Dream pulled up his shirt. The little boy from the Girls group pulled up his shirt. The boy who's the model from Esteem. It's just like, what am I supposed to see here? Your belly button? I don't get it. What's sexy here? If you raise it up higher, we might see a nipple, but I mean, other than that, what am I supposed to get from this? This is not hot. You look like you're hot. You like you're fanning yourself, basically. This is not hot. This is not cute. I'd be more scandalous lifting up my shirt only because I'm fat. So I would look like I was really about to get naked if I was to lift up my shirt. Mm. Mob could have been the bomb. Notice how mob is the anagram for word bomb. Okay. And that's why we love him. I'm waiting for peak. Y'all need to stop. Y'all are children. I'm not. How am I slandering anybody? Am I slandering anyone? Like, seriously, if you are not Wonho, keep your clothes on. And if you are Wonho, all of your clothes should be see-through. These is the rules. I don't make them. Wonho needs to wear see-through clothes because it's the only way to get his ass to wear clothes. When you see him, he's either wearing stuff that is see-through, skin tight, or is missing several pieces of what makes it a full garment. And he needs to be that way because honestly, I don't think he can find clothes that fit. He's so fucking diesel that he's just like, I would wear a nice button-up shirt. The only problem is my titties are so much bigger than my stomach area that it doesn't fit right in the abs. But then if I get it to fit right in the abs, it's just busting out in the titty area. So at this point, all I can wear is stretch see-through lycra. That or I can put on a harness and pretend like it's a shirt. That's really all I can do. So it's just, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Yes, he did work hard for that. So he deserves to show it off, between big old tiggies, between his big old titties and his big old bubble butt, he deserves to show it off. But I'm just saying, them's is the rules. I don't make them. I never have made them. When you own muscular manatees, then you don't have to wear clothes. But the rest of us mere mortals have to wear clothes to hide the shame of our nakedness from the rest of society. It is just the rules. And so with that being said, I really need the rest of them to keep their clothes on. Meanwhile, people like one were like, you know what? Because I couldn't find a shirt, I found these leftover dog leashes and I'm going to clip them all together and look, mama, I made a shirt. Or, the other day, me and my boyfriend were into a little bit of light BDSM, and he happened to have a couple leftover whips, and I just kind of sewed them bitches together, and look, daddy's got a harness. Hey. So, the boy does what he can, but he's in a really unfortunate position because he is just so blessed and endowed. You know, his pants keep trying to split. His shorts don't want to stay put. He can't ever wear gray sweatpants. It's nothing but disaster because his butt pulls the sweatpants too tight, and all of a sudden you got dick print going. Like there's nothing this boy can do. Anytime he puts on swimming trunks, he gets in the water, that shit sticks to his skin, and then all of a sudden it's just like quads and delts everywhere. Speaking of Icon, I understand where they're going as a group. It feels like it's just a two-man show with some backup singers. It does kind of sound like that. Like, I really liked the Killing Me song, and I really liked the song before that where they mispronounced the word. I can't even remember the name of the fucking song anymore. Oh my gosh, I cannot remember the name of the fucking song. Somebody leave it in the comments. I've totally spaced out. Not saying that the other members aren't talented, but that's what it feels like. Love Scenario. That's right, because they pronounced scenario wrong. Scenario. That one. I'm Just Icon got their hit and respect Love Scenario. I thought Love Scenario was good. I thought Killing Me was good. I didn't like the last song. The last song was like Flower Road, Road Less Traveled, Sad Road, whatever the fuck. It was them dancing on a bridge. I didn't like that song at all. It sounded very Beatles-esque, which is not my preferred genre of music, which is why I did not like it. Also, I bought the album. Have I ever unboxed that on my channel? Hold up, we might have a little unboxing session here. There's no graceful way to get on and off a bed. It's just facts. Everybody looks stupid getting on and off beds. Okay, so this was the album that was like all the songs combined, because they had like 2 albums come out, I think. Yeah, there's 2 albums that came out, and then they did this one, which was everything. So this is shit packaging. Like I don't know why I didn't talk about this, because I really should have. This is shit packaging. Let me tell you a little bit why this is shit packaging. This is a poly box. It's made out of clear plastic, very stiff clear plastic. There's no give in this. This is not bendable plastic. This has all of these things in here. When I put on the lid, listen to this sound. You hear that right there? That is a disaster for ruin. That's the sound of ruinous disaster. So already you have a problem because the inside materials aren't secured. So as they rattle around in here, you have the opportunity for things to get bent, things to crack, things to be damaged. This is all super sharp corners. Look how sharp that is. It's beautiful in the light. Problem is, these things in shipping, if you don't baby every single corner, get smashed to hell. I happened to buy this secondhand because it was damaged. Let me see where the damage is. I'm trying to remember where the damage is at. I think it's this corner. No, it's both corners. Well, both corners are peeling. Both corners. There's a coating on this box, and the coating on mine is actually peeling on the corners. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't because the lighting in here is not great. But it's peeling on the corners. But I've seen some that have been completely smashed in the corner, like cracked, and then the cracks spread like glass. So that is a problem. Next, I'm going to dump all the contents out because there's so much stuff. So this is the photo book here. The photo book is plain on the outside, reflective, cool stuff. Inside, this is what it looks like. It is so dark and everything is like so filtered and fuzzy. It's not even fun. It's not even fun. And then, some people say that the reason why photo books have blank pages is for people to sign, which I've gotten to the point in my life where I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine. If a blank page is for people to sign, I'm here for it. Leave me alone. We're not going to argue about this anymore. Who's supposed to sign a black page? What pen am I signing this with? Because they don't ever use white pens when you go to these fan signs. So again, this is essentially wasted time. Is wasted time because you can't sign on these black pages. So again, YG wasting our money, wasting our time with some bullshit. And they're all throughout here. So that's one thing. Then you have this. This is the CD plate. The CD plate, you'll notice one CD is missing, one CD is here. The reason why that is because the CD that I wanted to listen to that had Killing Me and Love Scenario was the first one. This is disc 2, which is all the new songs for the new release. I cannot think of a single song on here that I liked. Like, just period, point blank. Not a single song on disc 2 was worth the while. Everything that you want is on disc 1. So that's kind of sucky. But number 2, I have bought Japanese albums for a long time. These double disc plates always break. Always break. And when they don't break, the underdisc always scratches the back of the disc on top. Because the way that it's set up so that you have one disc here and then another disc that goes over the top with this little thing here. Invariably, that gap right there rubs against the bottom of the other disc and causes the disc to get damaged, which is why I don't even keep my CDs in these things anymore. Here is the back. Next, you have this keychain here. I have no idea whose signature this is. If you know, let me know. I don't know. I don't really care. I bought this thing for like $15. I got a really great deal. This thing right here, this is going to be so scratchy. Like this is going to fuck your shit up. If you do not make sure it stays in this pouch, if you undo it and put it in here, it is going to scratch the inside of this plastic box. It's going to scratch your CD. It's going to scratch up all your shit. Why would you do this? But I digress. Then we have this thing. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but there really wasn't much going on with the photo book. They give you this poster here. There's nothing wrong with this poster. Poster's fine. I'm good with it. In fact, I'm actually really glad there's nothing printed on the back. But what I don't like... Oh, thank you. I didn't even realize that you guys did that. What I don't like about this is that it's very obvious to me that certain people got short shrift when it came to who they decided to focus on for this poster. So whenever you're looking at this poster, all eyes always go to the center. Who's in the center? I'm telling you, this was made for you to understand with full faith that this is the Bobby show, the Bobby VI show. They could have done this as just like, this would have been better if it was this photograph. This would have been better. This looks lazy and favoritist. That's my problem with that. Then they have stuff that I don't really give a damn about. They got these postcards in here. Postcards are fine. I like them. They're cool. You get a sticker, and the sticker, I guess, is member specific, so that's what you get. Again, who's doing anything with stickers? I'm really not. I mean, maybe it's a cultural thing. Maybe the kids love stickers, and I'm just late to the game. And then you have this, which is the actual lyrics book. Do you know what you don't need? You don't need a lyrics book. Let me tell you why you don't need a lyrics book. You don't need a lyrics book because this blank page right here is where these fucking lyrics could have been printed at, my dude. You don't need a fucking lyrics book because you can put them right here. Why would you waste time like this? This is a waste of time. There's so many independent artists, K-R&B artists, K-hip hop artists, literally a jacket. Why do they do this? Why do they do this? You could put everything you need from here in here. Not only that, but if you go to the back of this thing, there are credits. Literally, there are credits. If you're gonna put lyrics in here, then all the credits should be in here, and this should be nothing but pure pictures. Why would you put credits in this thing and put fucking lyrics here? It is a waste of paper and it is a waste of fucking time, just like it was said in the comments section. It's so damn dumb. It's so damn dumb. But I say all that to say, not best pleased. Not best pleased. Am I the only one who hates separate lyric books, big sheet of paper? No, you're not the only one. A lot of us hate it. I think my least favorite way to do the lyrics, the separate book of lyrics is annoying just because it's just extra stuff and it makes no sense. The lyrics poster pisses me off for a whole other reason. Because the lyrics poster invariably is this extra piece of paper that nobody wants anything to do with, is very unhandy when you're actually trying to look at the lyrics and look at the song because it's this huge poster. And two, they usually print something on it to make it to where if you wanted to look at the image, you have to tack the lyrics onto your wall. I do not like it. Do not like it. Okay. So, for real, Juno is a really good singer, but he will never get to show his range. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing things because I don't listen to B-sides. I've gotten so much cardboard paper from YG merch. Pure waste of shipping cost. They do everything to fill up space. I had no idea and glad they gone. Yeah, I didn't even see the comment that got deleted, so I didn't catch it at all. I wish Hanman didn't have so much control over the music. I mean, I think a lot of us wish that BI wasn't as responsible for their music, but everybody has different reasons for that. Some people feel like they don't really want BI to be in charge of the music so much because they feel like the music kind of sounds the same under him. Other people say that they don't want him to be in charge of the music because it's too much pressure on him and it makes him mean. And then other people are like, he's being directed to go into like G-Dragon territory and he needs to stop. Oh, sorry. I don't know. I don't know why anybody wants to see something gross on my channel. My channel is so laid back. I'm eating chips on a live. My channel is super laid back. I'm talking with my mouth full. Shame on me. Anywho's. Yeah. This is not cool. I don't like this. I had the first album, the one that had Love Scenario. I had bought that before Killing Me came out. And then when Killing Me came out, I actually sent that to Shawwal 5 because she really wanted it. So I'm like, hey, you can have it, girl. No big deal. But it was just like a simple ass book and it had a little envelope with like all the little extra shit in it. Totally acceptable, totally fine. I would choose it time and time again. Like it really is like really, really nice. And I don't know why simple is so hard for people to wrap their lips around. So Alice didn't like Killing Me. I thought Killing Me was great. But yeah, I don't know. Too many blank pages in that one. I don't know, like when it comes to packaging, I think we all have our pet peeves, and we've talked about them before. The lyric posters, nobody likes those. Nobody likes the slip covers that are posters. Those things are high-key annoying. Nobody likes what JYP does with GOT7. Oh my gosh. If there was one group that consistently does the wrong thing all the time, it is GOT7. And this is not me critiquing GOT7 as like a vocal talent. This is me purely talking about packaging. And the issue started for me with the Hard Carry album, because if I'm not mistaken, that was the album where you did not know who you were going to get because it was like surprise packaging. So YG does this thing consistently over the last several years where it is, you don't know if you're going to get member X, Y, and Z Plus, you don't know whose CD plate you're going to get. Plus, you don't know whose poster you're going to get. And it's like, I don't want all these variables. Like, I would almost understand if you open the album and let's say that your bias was JB and you open the album and you get the JB poster plus the JB photo card plus the JB CD plate. Anybody would be happy with that because if you manage to get one thing, you get it all. But this having to like hunt around to get all the matching components, that shit is exhausting and it makes people not want to buy it, especially because you are doing so many fucking repacks for all your stuff. Like, I bought a copy of the GOT7 album that has Lullaby on it because I actually liked Lullaby. And I bought it brand new. And I think that they like repackaged it not that long after I bought it. And it's just like, what is this for? Like, seriously, what is this for? You make me not want to buy it. Not only that, but it was full of random shit. Like, it had the slipcover that you have to tear in order to find out which member's slipcover you got. Nobody wants to tear up their shit. We've said this over and over to these K-pop companies. No one wants to tear up their shit. So why are you doing this? Why are you making it to where I have to tear up my CD and then it might not even be the person I want and then I can't get rid of it because nobody wants to buy a torn up slipcase? Like, seriously, who does this benefit? I'm speaking my heart here. Who does this benefit besides YG's pocketbooks? It makes people not want to buy GOT7 albums or at least not buy them new. It makes you want to buy that shit used. This last album, Spinning Top, there are so many fucking variables with it. Like, I would never buy that album new. I wouldn't, even if I loved the song, I would never buy the album new. There's individual member slipcases. There are 3 different photo books, which you don't find out which photo book is which until you take off the slipcase. And then there's random member first pages in the damn album. So you've got random member first page, random member slipcover, random version behind the slipcover. Who wants that? Who wants that? Nobody. Nobody wants that. Yeah, I don't want them to make me damage my expensive piece of merchandise. I don't know what JYP is doing. You know, between that and like the massive amount of photo cards, because there's like the black framed photo card and the white framed photo card and the holographic photo card. Like, there's so many damn different photo cards. Nowadays, if you have a group of 7 members, you're looking at maybe 49 different photo cards. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous and so unnecessary. Twice, they've gotten crazy with their photo cards. Everybody's just doing the absolute most, and it's making it not fun to be a collector anymore, to be quite honest with you. When it was back in the day, when it was I just want to get my favorite member, that was fun. You know, if I bought a Girls' Generation album and my favorite member was Sunny, if I get a Tiffany card or a Taeyeon card, I knew I could find one person to trade my Sunny, and that's that. Now it's I need to find somebody that's willing to trade their version B white frame card for my version A black frame card for my bias. Like, you have to do so much juggling to try to get the one thing you really want, and nobody's down for that. I bought it because I love the music, but I don't collect GOT7. Hardcore, only one version because I don't hate myself enough for that. So it's only okay if you don't care what you get, like me. Exactly. Like, if you don't care what you get and you're not worried about repackaging, then buy all the stuff you want. But with JYP, the repackage issue is a big problem. You know, that's the reason why I don't understand why people buy Twice albums. Like, I get people love the group. Like, I'm not shading that at all. What I'm saying is, if Twice releases an album and it's not a repackage, like it's the first iteration, there will be 2 successive repackages after that. There will be the first album, then it'll be the repackage, and then it'll be the special edition holiday version. And when it comes to stuff like that, plus all the different photo cards and other stuff, CD plates and things that are in there, how do you collect all the things? How do you collect all the things? And if you have a group of 13 people, it's a freaking chore. Absolutely. Who can do all that? And then not even taking into account how annoying it is to pay for songs you've already paid for twice, much less 3 times. Like, who wants to pay for a song 3 times? That's the reason why hardly anybody bought D&E of the Maid series, to be quite honest with you, just to, spit facts. When I bought the Maid album M, I was happy. Everybody was happy. Everyone I knew who bought M was so happy. Then A came out, and that happiness went to anger in like 2.5 seconds, because you realized all of the shit you paid for on M was on A. The only thing that wasn't there were the instrumentals. And who the fuck buys an album for the instrumental? Seriously. So then D comes out. D has everything on M and A. E comes out. E has everything on D, A, and M, except for the instrumentals. Then the Maid album comes out, and it has everything that was on E plus the new songs. Do you know how hot people were? Especially because people waited almost a year from the E album to the actual Maid album to get released, and you're buying the same songs. At this point, you have bought Bebe and Loser 4 times before you got to the actual Maid album. 4 times. I'm surprised that people didn't sue YG for fraud, because that's not fair. That's not fair. Hardcore fans only stand on one group. When you stand a group like GOT7 and you want to have a complete collection for the group, nowadays you have to make rules like if you get the group version, you're good, or you get your bias, you're good. He's for evil, or you don't lose your mind. I mean, definitely you have to have rules for yourself. Like, that's a really important thing in collecting in general, is you have to have rules. Like, me personally, I try very hard not to buy things extraneously, unless it's shiny, in which case I buy anything I can get my hands on. But that's just different because shiny's got me fucked up. But like, I mostly try to stick to one version of groups that I'm just like slightly interested in. Like, when I bought GOT7's Present You, I really didn't care who the hell I got. I just wanted one because I liked the song. But there are groups who I do buy multiple copies for. I buy multiple copies of BTS's stuff, and it can be a hassle. But what I won't do, and what I refuse to do, is buy multiple photo cards for them bitches. Like, seriously, if I can trade, that's what I want to do. If it's a single card, that's what I want to do. But if BTS was to come out with an album next month or in 3 months that had 3 photo cards in the album, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. They almost didn't get a pass this last time. Thank goodness the postcard was the same in every single version. Otherwise, we would have rioted. There was no way I was going to try to source multiple postcards plus multiple photo cards. It's not happening. Not happening. I envy those people who would love to only stand one group, and I could have everything if I did that. Ain't that the fucking truth? Nah, Maid came out December 2007. Okay, I thought it was unfinished, like Winner's Exit series. No, the Maid series is finished. The Maid series, the last songs on the Maid series were Fuck It, and I forget what the other song was. It was like 2 or 3 other songs. Oh gosh. Sorry about that. Someone's trying to call. It's Fuck It, and a couple other songs were on the final album. Winner's Exit series is like Dinosaurs Extinct. Last Dance. There you go. It's been a long time since Maid came out. Whew, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. It's a good song. Leah. What would you do to get to me? Good times. But yeah, there's so many things that we could nitpick about the way that companies release their music, but definitely the unnecessary repackage is top of my list of annoying. I'll only take one repackage. Like seriously, I'll only take one repackage, and when I have a repackage, I want two songs. I actually I haven't said this, I think, in my videos, but I'm actually kind of mad at SM about Shiny's Story of Light series. When they did Story of Light, part one was fine, part two was fine, part three was fine. Then they did the epilogue. The epilogue came out quite a bit after part three. People had started to buy all of the parts because they did not think there was going to be a repackage because each individual piece was different and it seemed like it was done. Then they do the epilogue. The epilogue has all of the songs from all of the parts plus one new song, Countless. I was pissed. I really was. I was pissed because I was like, first of all, this repackage didn't need to happen. Like, Countless is not so great of a song that it deserved a whole other album release. Number two, the photos, the concept art, all that stuff is not super different from what was in versions one, two, and three. And thirdly, a repackage is more than one song. It is at least two songs. At the very minimum, they should have had one more Jonghyun song on there. Because, like, Lock You Down is on part three, which has Jonghyun's voice on it. They should have had one more song with Jonghyun's voice on it on Epilogue. And then it would have been worth it. Then I would be like, oh, you know what? It's two new songs, and Jonghyun's on that last one, so I gotta get it. But yeah, I was very disappointed with Epilogue. I thought that SM really screwed us the fuck over with that one. Not best pleased. Not best pleased at all. But what can you do about it? You know, when it's your bias, it's just like, I'm gonna have to take these L's, but I didn't ask for them. Um, I remember Card coming out with Oh Nana in December 2006. Damn, that was a while ago. I was so mad that SM released the repackage. Of course, we can nitpick about a lot of things with promotions, album packaging, and etc. Glad I don't have to deal with that type of mess. I'm so used to jewel cases, lol, with K-pop companies. Yeah, I feel like they still got a lot of Jungin song in the SM vault. Oh, absolutely. Like I could literally talk about this all day, but I'll talk about it for a little while. So NCT came out with We Are Superhuman on Shiny's anniversary, and it fucked me up. Like, it really did. Like, I found myself getting teary eyed watching the video because it was the first time I heard the song. I don't look for NCT stuff. I had actually quit buying NCT stuff after Limitless, so I didn't buy regular, irregular. I didn't buy the repackage, and I haven't even looked for any of the wavy stuff. Like I was done buying NCT stuff. But I try to keep up with what the kids are listening to, and that's my thing. I'm out here in these streets trying to keep up. And I watched the video for We Are Superhuman, and immediately I'm like, this is Shiny. Like, I get it that these are not Shiny's voices. I get it that this is, an NCT setup, all that stuff. But like, it sounded like Taemin stuff. It sounded like Everybody and Sherlock. It sounded like something that you would hear on Odd. Like, it was everything that makes shiny, like, especially like the part after the bridge where they go superhuman. That part, that harmony, that is Shiny. Like, I was just waiting for Jongyun's ad libs. Like, it was so shiny that it had me shook. It was more shiny than anything that was released on Story of Light, and it caught me off guard, and it put me away for a minute because I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it was a Shiny song. And it wasn't just a Shiny song, it was a Shiny title track. Like, really and truly, it was a Shiny title track. A lot of people try to compare it to EXO's Gravity. Maybe a little bit, but really and truly, that song was a Shiny song, especially because it was so vocal team. Like, I could see where like different parts would be like watching Mark and Taehyung interact, I'm like, ah, Key and Minho, there you go. Like it's just, it was so them. It was so them without being them that it hurt my heart to listen to. And I don't know, it had me feeling some kind of a way. And it just made me think of all the things that are possibly in the SM vault that we are never going to hear. Now, I don't know if it's because Jongyun's mother said she doesn't want any more stuff released with her son's voice. That could very well be the case. Poet artist might be the last thing we get from Jongyun. Um, However, and this is going to sound super morbid, I don't mean it this way. I swear I don't mean it this way. I feel like if Jongyun's mother is not in the mix anymore, like if something was to happen and she no longer was making the decisions for the estate, I think that Sodom would release the rest of Jongyun's vault. I really do, because she's been very vocal about, trying to maintain her brother's legacy and, doing projects in his name. And she even sang his song for his birthday, which was so adorable and cute. So, like, I feel like she probably would be more interested in releasing the vault, but I don't think that Jonghyun died with a will. Like, if I had to guess, I don't think he died with a will. And so his mom being his survivor would have probably been the person in charge of how the estate was going to be handled, which is the reason why Poet Artist ends with, gosh, what did it end with? It was like a religious thing that was in the packaging for Poet Artist. And a lot of people knew that Jonghyun was either agnostic or atheist during his life. So that was really surprising that there would be a religious thing in his album, because that's not his deal at all. But I think that came from his mom. But yeah, like I think that his mom probably didn't want to release his stuff, because if you've ever listened to Jongyun's music, he gets very detailed about his desires and wants. And she probably felt like it was too scandalous for her and she didn't want to do it, or maybe it sounded too sensual and she didn't want that to be released. She didn't want that to be her son's legacy. And if that's the case, I don't know what to tell you. I think that the only reason why Poet Artist really went out the way it did is because a video had already been shot, and more than likely, they had already gotten ready to start printing that album because the video had been shot. And so they were like, listen, we've already got this package together. If you give us the go ahead, we'll release this and we won't even bother you about doing any more stuff with his vault. And she was like, okay, cool. But we all know for a fact, this is not conjecture, this is a fact, that SHINee recorded an album in 2017, because they already talked about how they had to rework some of the songs for their album to do Story of Light, because they had to re-record them to make up for parts where Jongyun's voice would have been in these songs. So there's not just the vault of the songs from 2017's album that never got released, but take into account all of the demos that Jonghyun did for songs he wrote for other people. Like, I'm sure there's, mad demos for songs that he tried to shop to different artists that maybe didn't make it on projects. There are songs that probably SHINee recorded thinking that this might make it on the album and it never does, because there's an FX vault. There's a SNSD vault. We've heard some of these songs over the years in teaser trailers or unreleased dance practices. So there are songs out here that we are never going to hear that are in the SM vaults. There's songs, there are dance practices and little snippets of things that have been coming out discreetly over the last year or so that people are like, what's going on here? What's going on here? So listening to We Are Superhuman and hearing that sound, it just made me think, like, of all the things that we are never going to hear and all the projects we're never going to get. And it really put me in a place. It really put me in a not so keen place, because like I said, I love SHINee and I want more from them, but it's just the powers that be are in charge of what we get. And if they don't see fit to give it to us, then we're never going to get it. Essence, You Catch Me If You Can, OT9 music video. I'm still waiting for EXO's Call Me Baby dance practice now that you mentioned it. There's so much stuff that people are waiting for. There's so many things that you hear in teasers that never get released. I saw a tweet thread the other day about BTS, and the tweet thread was talking about the fact that the teasers for Boy With Love and the teasers for something else, I forget what it was. They were, oh, the teaser for Idol. They were like slowed down, almost acoustic-y sounding versions of what the final song ended up being, but they were like slow jam versions. And people were like, when are we gonna get these? Like this is this what you put out and what you teased us with aren't the same. When are we gonna get these? And I know that there are a lot of songs like that throughout K-pop where you heard one thing in the teaser and what came out on the project was nothing the same, or they just threw that shit away. All of the SM Rookie stuff. A lot of that SM Rookie stuff, it took a long time for it to finally get released on projects. And even then, a lot of it didn't make it to physical. So yeah, it's a thing. Companies have a book of songs, and I know they do because Taman talked about it on his interview for iHeartRadio, that SM has like a book of songs, and the artist can flip through it, and they can listen to demos, and they can look at what's available, what hasn't been put on a project, and then from there they can craft an album of their own. And Taman said that that's something that he did. Like, he went through the book and like picked this one, that one, this one, that one. He'd go in and record it, then see if it worked with the overall theme of the album, and then the album would get released. So there's probably multiple covers of multiple songs that, until they're actually picked up by a group, just sit and wait for somebody to listen to them. Let's see. I'm still waiting on that Jin Soul Singing in the Rain dance video that BBC needs to release. Like a menu. Exactly, like a menu. Just like, I'll see what's on the appetizers. Not really a fan of jalapenos. Ooh, but I do like potatoes. I'm gonna go with this one. Like, I am for certain that is the truth when it comes to SM. And it's probably the truth when it comes to JYP. And we know for a fact it's the truth when it comes to YG. Because I think that, and I'm not alone in thinking this, I think that at least probably 4 songs that Blackpink has done were 2NE1 demos. And I'm just waiting for the day when things really go down at YG and some employee gets fed up and they decide to release them 2NE1 vocals. The day is coming. The day is coming. It's not here today, and it may not be tomorrow, and it may not be in a year. But one day, somebody is going to release the Boombayah 2NE1 demo track. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. But I feel like Fire was a 2NE1 song. I feel like As If It's Your Last was a 2NE1 song. And I feel like Boombayah were 2NE1 songs. And I don't feel this way because I feel like everything is superior to 2NE1. I feel this way because when you listen to these songs from a musical, cultural standpoint, this period in time in culture, those songs don't match. Those songs don't sound new. Those songs sound like songs that came out when the Black Eyed Peas were still popular. And that is the reason why people keep saying that they're 2NE1 demos. Not because people are trying to shit on Blackpink, but because people are really shitting on Teddy. They're saying to Teddy, like, when you listen to the song, it doesn't sound like it was made in the last 10 years. Or at the very minimum, it doesn't sound like it was made in the last 5 years. It sounds like it was made in like 2012, 2014, maybe even 2010. And because of that, it's hard for people to believe that these are brand new songs that were written for Blackpink to put out. And if they are brand new songs for Blackpink to put out that 2NE1 never touched, CL never demoed, never was any of the members of the group, then the question is Teddy stuck? Because if Teddy is stuck, somebody needs to unstick him. Did you hear the Brave Brothers initially wrote Bomb's song Spring for 2NE1 back in 2007? I had heard that. I didn't hear the year, but I did hear that it was supposed to be for 2NE1, which begs the question, Brave Brothers, do y'all have any new material? Why would y'all set Bomb up like that? Like, I get it that ballads are kind of timeless, so like you can do a ballad today, tomorrow, forever. But at the same time, you didn't have nothing new that you can give to anybody. Like, really, honestly, Brave Brothers is the reason why Samuel's career has not taken off. There's a lot of good things that can happen for Samuel, but he needs to get out of Brave Brothers company. YG needs to freshen up their producers, in my opinion. I think that they have access to YG has access to really good, young, fresh producers. Don't think that YG doesn't, because Code Kunst was on YG for a minute and then he got off. Like, I think he left right before Epic High left, or right after, or maybe at the same time. I can't recall. He's a really fresh and modern producer. He does K hip hop music and he's really good at it. But he's an example of a fresh producer. There's a lot of people who train under Teddy that did production for Icon. They're really good producers. They could be trusted to do some things. There's a lot of people that have worked for YG at different periods in their life and went on to do other K-pop ventures and have been really popular. So don't think it's that YG doesn't have the access to the producers. The issue is that YG asked their producers to do the same sound over and over again. That's where the problem lies. Like, YG, okay, YG, the man, is in his late 40s, early 50s, late 40s. I'm gonna give him late 40s. I'm gonna give him that kind of a grace because I feel like he's only a little bit older than me. YG's in his late 40s. People my age like what they like. And even if we have immaculate taste like myself, we still like what we like. And in liking what you like things that you've always liked. And so even if you have a young producer giving you something fresh and new, if it doesn't sound like something you like, you're going to pass on the project and you're not going to use it. Great example. When me and Stephanie were driving to the airport, I was playing NSYNC's No Strings Attached album. And I played, what song did I play? Oh gosh, I can't remember. It was one of my favorite songs from the album, but I cannot remember the name of it now. I love everything on No Strings Attached. That's why I'm having such a hard time remembering what the song was. Oh, It Makes Me Ill. That's it. So I played the song It Makes Me Ill by NSYNC, which was my personal favorite song on that album when that album came out, even though I love a lot of songs. As it was playing, 30 seconds in, my daughter says, "Yeah, that sounds like something you would like." Because she knows me and she knows at my age, my taste has been fixed since NSYNC was out. Like, I have a genre I like, and that's what I buy, that's what I gravitate to. This is the sound that she equates with her mom. That being said, you know, she's used to the sound, she's used to me liking certain things. When she hears different songs, she'll be like, "Mom, you should hear this. I think this is something you will like." I think YG is exactly the same way, except for YG has power. And that's the reason why probably Teddy has some stuff that might be new, but he's also like, "I'm a 40-year-old dude, you're a 40 something year old dude. We grew up on Tupac and Mary J. Blige and Black Eyed Peas, and this is what we're giving to these young girls because this is what we like." So, what YG really needs more than anything is he needs to suck it up, take a seat back, and hire tastemakers. He needs to hire tastemakers because there's a reason why people like Rihanna and Beyonce are able to kind of keep going with the times. And Rihanna more than Beyonce, to be quite honest with you. Like, when Beyonce releases a project, it is like a cultural moment, but it's not necessarily like the new hot shit on the street. It's more like everybody respects her because she is Beyonce and she is a legend, and whatever she does, if she's reading the phone book, we love it, whatever. But she finds a way to like put a little bit of new stuff in there. Rihanna, on the other hand, every single time Rihanna releases something musically, it is that new hot shit. It's like, oh shit. And she does it consistently and has done it for years, which is why I'm not really aching for her to come back with a comeback, because the girl deserves a break. The lady deserves to vacation. But yeah, like, she's a taste maker. That's what Rihanna is. Beyonce is a legend, but Rihanna is more so than a legend. She is a tastemaker. The things that she likes becomes what everyone else likes. Drake is the same way. Drake is a taste maker, and when he's not a maker, he is a taste co-signer. If something's the hot shit, when Drake says I fucks with that, it is confirmed the hot shit. And that is what YG needs. He needs a tastemaker. He needs somebody that people in Korea look at as like that dude who knows his stuff. And that's the guy or the girl, not being sexist here, that needs to be the one deciding what tracks get released by who. I kind of wish YG used the Black Label's producer Kush more. He ended up getting in trouble with cocaine. Well, it is what it is. Sometimes tastemakers need a little taste, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it would be nice if you could use Kush more. It would be nice if YG would just, try to shop in the indie minds. I know there's a lot of producers who are hip hop indie producers that work with YG when they're not working on their own shit. But all of them do. All of them do. But like, I wish YG would let Groovy Room take a stab at Blackpink. I think Groovy Room, with everything they've done with Haze so far, I think that they really could do something special with Blackpink. Something that would be like the hot shit in Korea. Could totally happen. But he has to give people that freedom. He can't keep thinking that he knows what's best all the time because he doesn't really know what's best all the time. He did a lot to build the goodwill of right. Bring in Gray. Gray would be oh my gosh, Gray would be perfect for YG. First of all, I love Dolly with Hyolyn. I think that she's the perfect person to do that song. I can't see anybody else doing that song. But I Won't Let You Down. Can you imagine Blackpink doing I Won't Let You Down? Talk about hot fire. Like, they would do it so good. It would be crazy. It would have been a smash. And Jessie did it. Not that Jessie is bad, it's just that Jessie's not really a singer and she insisted on singing throughout that whole song almost. But yeah, Gray at YG working with Blackpink would be awesome. Groovy Room at YG would be awesome. There's so many people that he could pull and have them do it. But another big thing that makes it difficult for people to work with YG is that you have to be his people. RT could help Blackpink too. His songs with Ando was fire. The thing that happens with YG, which makes it so difficult for people to work for YG, is that YG wants to own you. Like, Teddy probably left YG for a while because he wanted to work with other people. He wanted to expand his sound. And YG was like, yeah, but I need to have first refusal. And he's probably like, no, that's not what I'm looking for because there's things that I have that I only see with artists that don't exist here. And YG's like, no, 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 first refusal. And so I think that that definitely is an example of, again, needing to have somebody else make those decisions. Same thing with like, didn't Teddy write Hero for Sunmi? Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm right. And there was like Heroin, not Hero, Heroin. Didn't he write Heroin for Sunmi? That song doesn't sound like anything that Blackpink is doing. Like, it sounds totally different. And that just goes to show if he can write that and produce that for her, then he could do different things at YG. He's just not being allowed to. iKON had to push hard to release Love Scenery and ended up being their biggest hit. YG has questionable judgment. Absolutely. Absolutely. YG likes what he likes. And, Heroin, now that I'm thinking about it, I could hear Ehi doing Heroin. I absolutely could hear her doing that song. Like, that would be right in her wheelhouse. And I could see YG being like, no, that's not what we do around here. We do this other. Fucking asshole. Man, that just brought down my whole evening. Fuck that guy. Anyway, thank you guys for being on here. I have now been on this live for 3 hours. That is way too freaking long. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to edit this, to be quite honest with you. Like, it's a live, so usually with my lives I don't do any edits, but I don't want somebody to click on this video thinking that it's produce 101 talk and only the first hour is produce 101. So that's why I feel kind of bad for it. But at the same time, I feel like all conversation is valuable conversation, and people don't have to watch the whole thing. Fuck it. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, that's cool. That's cool. It would be cool if Doki and The Quiet made some hip hop instrumentals for Winter and Icon. It might be cool. I don't know. I feel like Doki and The Quiet, they have a very set style that was formulated in the early 2000s, and they could use a little updating themselves. But that's just me, especially The Quiet. His rap style is so freaking old. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. This has been a blast. I know you guys have other stuff to do today because we all got to go back to work tomorrow, but I had fun. I've now been on live for 4 hours. So I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. But thank you so much for watching, and I will talk with you guys later.